Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SportsGamer, and welcome back to our continued coverage of the ECL Elite Division as we continue on with our Week 3 coverage. My name is Doogie, joined this time, once again, every Wednesday, with one Sin for the win. And Sin, as always, good to have you back, and we have a couple of interesting matchups here today to cover.
Yeah, really excited to see this new Parasite lineup in action. Obviously, I haven't gotten a chance to cover them yet, but I mean, we've seen like kind of, teams sort of combining rosters at different stages, throughout the ECL, and this one, has the capability to be one of the better ones that we've seen.
I mean, so far, they have lived up to the hype, certainly. Today, they take on Mythix, and in our second matchup, a little bit later on, we have GOONS taking on the Falun coal miners, another interesting matchup based on where these teams have been and where they currently are. Of course, we'll talk about that in a moment as we look to set the stage here for this first matchup. Let's take a look at the standings to show you where these teams stand. Again, Parasite and Mythix kicking us off, and it is that Parasite lineup, perfect through 12 games, or at least perfect enough, technically undefeated. Pretty sure it is not 12 regulation wins in a row. Double checking that really quickly because, yeah, okay, so they have 10 wins in regulation, 2 overtime wins, so not the maximum amount of points that they can have in those 12 games. They are 2 points short. That makes sense. Simple math. Hey, it's going to be a day. It's going to be a time for me. But they are atop the standings right now, and of course that left side of the bracket is where you want to be come playoff time, and Mythix currently find themselves in a playoff spot, but it is arguably, I mean, right now it is flat out the toughest game on the schedule, Sin.
Yeah, if they could just, even get a couple points out of this, I'm sure they would consider that a victory going up against this Parasite lineup, which, as you mentioned, undefeated. The only less than perfect thing they've done was win a couple games in overtime, but I mean, yeah, they're a force to be reckoned with, and Mythix is definitely going to have their work cut out for them.
Tough spot for Mythix to be in, too. That point percentage, technically a little bit lower than they'd want it to be, but hey, it's been proven. You can take Parasite to overtime, get a point here and there. Crazier things have happened, too. All it takes is a team having an off day. So again, it is 1 versus 8 as we kick off the action here today. Let's get a look at the numbers for these two teams before heading into this matchup. Of course, a little bit more in depth. Parasite, I mean, just a stellar goal differential. Pretty much as good as it can get. A dynamite power play, a picture perfect penalty kill. It's all about perspective, right? Because from the special team standpoint, Mythix aren't that bad, but everything about Parasite's just clicking right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. If you put Mythix, up next to kind of, any other team, those are really good special teams numbers, but unfortunately today they're matched up against Parasite, who it just dwarfs what they've done here. And yeah, what Mythix need to do is obviously they got to kind of, fix that goal differential a bit. They're going to need a little bit more offense. The goals against isn't bad, but you do want to try to tighten that up. It's kind of perhaps be tough against this Parasite squad. I mean, but again, crazier things have happened. As you said, you take this team to overtime, all it takes is a bounce going in your favor, and you get that extra point and things like that. Any points in this matchup for Mythix, I'm sure they'd consider a victory, but like as competitive as everyone is here in the ECL Elite, doesn't matter who you're going up against. You're going to give it your all. You're going to have that belief that you can win, because otherwise, you don't get up out of bed and play.
Let's take a look at the lineups here for this matchup. On the Parasite side of things, Vatu Benito and Nikki Dangles, with Tombo and Temu on defense, Fincere between the pipes. And on the other side, Bobby, Vale, and Koloslav, the front three for Mythix, with Mickeys and Vidux on defense, and Rico between the pipes. Let's get a look at the centers here. Benito and Vale as, of course, Benito doing what Benito does in terms of the point production, dominating face-offs. He has been in the conversation not only for the best center in the league, Sin, in the near 5 years that we've been covering the ECL, he's been in the conversation for the best player overall.
Yeah. And, you know, it makes sense. Center is in one of those tougher positions to play when it comes to forwards. There's so much more you have to worry about. A lot more of the two-way game. Of course, you do expect all the forwards, you know, to be able to cover on the defensive side, to play that 5-man defensive game. But for the centerman, you know, it's a lot more ice to cover. You have to be, you know, picture perfect in your positioning at all times. And Benito just encompasses that. And he's always noticeable out there, too. That's one of the things. If for some reason, you know, Mythix is able to kind of slow him down, make it so he doesn't have a big matchup, then they absolutely will have a chance, because so much of the offense and everything runs through Benito.
We'll take a look at the winger matchup here next, as again we have Vatu and Nikki Dangles against Bobby and Kolislav. And of course, in that conversation, in regards to the points, we're going to make it difficult to see for some reason, though. Obviously, just a slight technical glitch there. But we're trying to make it a little bit more fair, right? Because, again, for Mythix, they're doing well. The point production, not too bad. It is just, again, Vatu and Nikki Dangles in that conversation as the best left and right winger individually in the league, and arguably the best players in the league. I mean, it really is an embarrassment of riches that this Parasite lineup has.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like, you know, Nikki Dangles at a lot of times, he's been known to score a lot of goals. He's getting a lot more assists right now, and Vatu is absolutely crushing it. Well over, you know, 2 goals per game, nearly at 4 points per game. That's kind of insane if you think about it. I don't know if we've ever seen someone average 4 points per game over the course of the season, but I'd love to see it happen right here for Vatu. But yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head for Bobby and Kolislav. Like, their production is not bad. They do want to get that up there a little bit. It's just, you know, when you're looking at them side by side, it's just gross on the side of Parasite.
It is Nikki Dangles and Vatu, the top 2 point getters in the league right now. Vatu, the top goal scorer. 8 more goals than the person currently in second, that being Profilapaki on Totorit, who has played 6 more games than Vatu. So just an unbelievable pace for him this season. We'll take a look next at the defenders. Again, Tombo and Temu squaring off with Mickey's and Vidux. And again, Sin, we talk about the embarrassment of riches for Parasite that continues up and down the lineup. But on the other side for Mythix, I mean, again, having both defensemen near a point per game is very solid. You have a more physical style from Mickey's with the more defensive poke-checking style of Vidux on the other side. I'm going to be intrigued to see what they can do. Obviously, they have their hands full for this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tall task. I mean, that's got to be going through their head. You know, how do they slow down that front 3 of Parasite? And it's, you know, you're not going to be able to completely stifle them. You just have to find a way to slow them down. That's really kind of their only option right here. And, you know, I would like maybe seeing, I know it might not be his game, but a little more physicality coming out on the side of Adux there. If you can knock someone down, that's, you know, tremendous, obviously. Like, you give maybe a winded get up, you create some time, some space, and, you know, looking at those numbers, maybe they're not expecting him to be physical. And that could kind of, you know, maybe give another look, something for Parasite to think about. If you start stepping up and, you know, making some hits, that could be something that really starts to slow down Parasite, and especially on the offensive side of things. But for Temu and Tombo, you know, Tombo maybe a slower start points-wise than we've seen him get. Could be, you know, an adjustment thing on the new team and things like that. But he's still, you know, incredibly solid on both sides of the puck. We've known that watching him and covering him for as long as we have. And what a start from Temu as well. You know, excellent physicality coming out. He's getting the points. He's getting the goals as well. I mean, this is just, it's a tall order for Mythix to try to slow down. There's threats everywhere on the ice.
And of course, the goaltending matchup, our final head-to-head here, Finn Sere against Rico. And honestly, I mean, Sin, both numbers stellar. I mean, you know, for Finn Sere, you kind of expect the numbers to be up there based on, you know, just the strength of the team around him. Mythix, again, right now, a bubble playoff team, but they are not looking at the goaltending performance from Rico as a disappointment. Certainly, it's a big part of the reason as to why they're in that playoff conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say he's maybe one of the biggest keys to their success right now with that save percentage and, getting a shutout to his credits and, the goals against average. When he's in net, the team always has a chance to win. If you're holding, your opponent to around 2 goals per game, you should be able to score 3. Now, Mythix has kind of struggled with that throughout the course of the season. They need to find a way to get the offense going. It's gonna be tough against Parasite, the defense, the team defense that they play, and then of course Finsere in net. But you have to find a way at some point. You have to just be able to convert, and that's what we're looking at right here. But this is a great goaltending matchup. Really excited to see who's going to be making some of those key saves here and really giving their team that edge that they need.
So we are just about ready to go. So we get ready for the regular season matchup. Again, Parasite taking on Mythix in our first set of games tonight. Again, a little bit later on, Goons and the Falun Coal Miners going head-to-head. 2 teams that find themselves right around Mythix in the standings currently. So this is a series that they are certainly going to pay attention to, right? Because, hey, if Mythix struggle against Parasite, as essentially everybody has so far, it's a good opportunity for one of those 2 teams. And if they can pick up all 6 points for 2 regulation wins, all of a sudden, hey, we are looking so much better than we were heading into the action tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of leapfrog potential, especially as we were looking at the standings. Falun Coal Miner sitting right there in that 9 seed, and I believe, if I wasn't mistaken, they actually had games in hand on Mythix as well. So that's another big thing here. Even if you can't pick up all 6 out of 6, get yourself 4 at least. And then, with those games in hand, you still have that chance to be able to leapfrog them at a later point. But, both those teams, it's going to be really scrappy between Falun Coal Miners and Goons. And I am really looking forward to that. But, of course, first up, we have this Parasite and Mythix. And this one's going to be incredibly interesting. I'm not too sure. Maybe Mythix can show us something. Like I said, everyone's sort of predicting Parasite to just continue their run right here. They seem unbeatable, but we've seen a lot of teams that seemed unbeatable get beat by in some of the strangest ways. And I always kind of think back to those series between, at the time, Strikers and Unwanted in the playoffs, where Unwanted just seemed to have Strikers' number. Maybe Mythix can figure something out about this Parasite team and be able to find some kind of hole to be exploited that no one else has found so far.
I mean, looking at Mythic's most recent games, their last 3 series, they've been pretty scrappy. They pulled off the double against Hamo, earned a split against Voitamaton, and a split against Polsky Boys. So, again, they have proven to be tough to beat, but it is a very tall task, as you got to look there at the teams in the lobby. Very similar player style setups, the center with puck on a string. You got the 1Ts, of course, on the side. A lot of what we expected to see this season. But here we go. We are about ready to begin. Parasite and Mythix, their regular season matchups, home and away, as we continue on with the week 3 action, and we are barreling towards the playoffs. It goes by fast. See, again, some very valuable points up for grabs in this one. Of course, watching from the Parasite perspective in their road whites for this first game. E for Mythix in this one. How well can you shut down those zone entries? The answer on the first attempt, not particularly well. It is Parasite getting set up in the offensive zone. I thought Benito would be able to get that shot off clean. He gets that one off clean. Good save by Rico, but the pressure's still there. Down low, Vatu in front of swing and a miss for Benito. You saw something there, son.
Yeah, it's just quick puck movement and, most importantly, puck retrieval from Parasite is an odd angle one-timer right there. Good pushback from Mythix.
Tamu takes a big hit. Down the other way now for Mythix, though. A little bit of space here. Steps in. Short side. Good stop by Finsere. Mythix so far making the most of their limited ozone time, getting a couple chances towards goal. Good poke check there by Mickey's to shut down Tamu. Oh, but they leave that left side open. Vatu with space. Sends it across. They score. Saying it was a strong play, but a lapse of focus for half a second is all Parasite needed. They're up 1-0.
Yeah, just a tiny bit of space, and it was a beautiful sauce off of the wall. And you can see, I love that delay move right there from Vatu. He essentially just stops right in the slot. The defenseman kind of overskate a little bit. That opens up the passing lane. Nicky Dangles making no mistake from right there. But yeah, you said it. Tremendous play at the blue line initially, but they pushed forward a bit. And as they did that, Vatu was able to sneak behind on that left-hand side. He wasn't picked up in time. And like you said, all it takes is one split second of lapse in judgment, and Parasite make you pay.
The top 2 point getters in the league strike early. That 15 goals now on the season for Nicky Dangles. Parasite right back in on the attack. Benito tries the short side. It's blocked. They move the odd angle shot from Nicky Dangles. Forces another save out of Rico.
Yeah, he has been good. You know, he's been turning aside pretty much everything that he's had a realistic chance on. That last one, it's hard to say he had much of a chance with gold 1D in tight like that, but he's been solid in his positioning. But Parasite beginning to swarm right now.
See what you did there. To the point for Teemu. Pressured a bit, gets it to Benito. Goes back to the forehand. Surveying the field. His hands off to Tombo. A little bit of trouble down low. Find the kick. The one-timer, they score! Teemu with the blast. 2-0 for Parasite.
Another quick strike right there. And again, it's just great puck support coming out from Parasite. Down low, they just want every loose puck, and they continue to earn them right there. Their positioning is great. They really seem to almost be able to predict where those pucks are going to bounce at. When it's a battle in the corner, you see 2 different aisles of support. One behind the net, one who came in down near the corner of the goal. He's the one who gets the pass, kicks it right back up top to Teemu, who crept in to make that one-timer available. He blasts it home so quickly, it's 2-0. Almost thought it was going to be 3. Yeah.
Save there on Vatu. Here come Mythix down the other way. The shots on goal here, but Parasite have found their way through. Goals from Nicky Dangles, and then Teemu with his 7th goal of the season. As a defenseman, no less. What an outlet pass up ahead to Vatu. Now Tombo at the point. Had to go across for Nicky Dangles. Defense was there. Parasite able to recover. Teemu with the switch throws one on. Good save by Rico. Parasite still in control. Vatu's low shot. Another save. Mickey's up ahead. Space for Mythix. Disappears quickly. Great outlet pass to Vatu. Wanted Nicky Dangles, gets it back. His shot also sent down. They found a way to stop Vatu, at least on that attempt. Mythix still in control here in the O zone. Just so little space, and if they do find space, it disappears quickly. Vatu short side shot. That one stopped. Full pressure for Parasite. One-timer saved by Rico. At least a moment to catch their breath.
Yeah, I wonder if they're actually going to use a timeout. It's so early, and I don't think they're going to. They have the full pressure. Their goalie is pretty gassed right now. They need to win this face-off.
Off the draw, they do. Difficult to get the puck out. As a exhausted Bobby sends that one down. Final minute here in the first period. Vatu not able to weave his way through. A little bit of space. Tired legs still. Can't take advantage. One more chance for Parasite. Vatu for Nicky Dangles. Good block. Benito back in front as time expires. Parasite, hot start as we expected. They are up 2-0 at the end of the first.
Yeah, I did like that we saw at times, some pushback from Mythix. They got a few shots on, they got a little bit of zone time, but as you said, it's so hard to establish an effective cycle and forecheck when it comes to Parasite. They're just so good at at taking away the space. And not only that, but they're always seeming to win the battles for the loose pucks. They win the races, or they're just, you know, they outnumber you. They overload a couple guys there and force that puck off of you if you are the one to get to it first. And, you know, almost about as picture perfect of a period from the perspective of Parasite. 6 minutes time on attack, 9 shots, 2 goals. I mean, they're not afraid to shoot either. They're not waiting for the perfect opportunities at all times. And I like to see that, because what they've done a few times, we've seen Rico at 0 stamina. And that's, you know, very, very important there. You know, his reactions could be a bit slower, may not get the favorable animations and things like that. And, you know, if you have the lane, take it. And I like that we're seeing that out of Parasite here, as we're getting a look at how that goal went in. Looked like just hitting off the pad under the arm. Tough kind of break there for Rico. But again, that all comes down to a puck battle won in the corner. And that's what Parasite has been doing so effectively throughout this game, is continuing to win the battles for the loose pucks.
The second period begins. A reminder, as always, the action brought to you by our friends at Falun. It is game 1 of 2. A regular season meeting between Parasite and Mythix. A little bit later on, Goons, Falun Coal Miners go head-to-head. As a chance for Benito, couldn't get all of that shot. Mythix get it out again. Bobby trying to just take the boards here into space. Force in front doesn't go. Olaslav, force in front as well. Just no space to be found. He dangles. Low shot on and stopped by Rico. And it feels like they're showing a lot more willingness to try those low shots and the rebounds, as opposed to just circling back and keeping possession.
Yeah, I like it. They're not really getting, you know, too overconfident right there. And, you know, Nicky Dangles could have tried to force a pass through, but he opts to go for the safer play, you know, looking for the low shot and the rebound, using the goalie's pads as a kind of a bank pass there.
Again, trying to get something going here in the attacking zone. Ends up towards goal, stays out. In front, the pass back to the forehand, and 1 or 2 passes too many there.
Yeah, their issue was they couldn't get anyone in. Like, they got guys in good shooting lanes, but the problem was that he was on his backhand, so they had to maybe try to find another option. I would maybe like to see him just kind of shovel a backhand on. You never kind of know, you know, what it's going to create. Could create a rebound. You can crash the net, or might just go in.
Down low, sent back in front off the skates of Nicky Dangles. Back pressure there yet again. That is the problem for Mythix. You have to work so quickly, and if those forwards get back, space disappears quickly as a shot attempt from Bobby is taken away. Combo stepping up. Back to Benito covering at the point. Taking his time with the puck. Dangles again in front. Defense collapses. As for Mythix off the mark, already halfway through the second period. Good job by Bobby to get that puck, and again, the pass in front's just not there. And a penalty is going to be called. Looks like he went to shoot the puck, because he lost it so quickly, or he just never got it off of the interception. Yeah. I'm still surprised that was called interference, given he had the puck half a second before, but Bobby does head to the box.
Yeah, and especially as he, the hit animation was a completely different direction. Doesn't look like the fans are too impressed either. But nonetheless, Parasite's power play going to get to work, and Benito has been great on these draws. If wins another one here, they'll be able to establish themselves. Ew. Somehow goes through everyone.
Fortunate break for Mythix. An offside call here. And Parasite 56% on the power play. Certainly tough to shut down. Strong start here for Mythix. I don't think kill effort, nearly halfway through already. Combo. Switch with Teemu. Teemu across, good pickoff. Sent all the way down. Well done.
Yeah, I like that. Mythix thought about the counterattack. He didn't like what he saw right there, and so he just kind of opted out of it. I believe that was Mike right there, and just kind of decided to dump it in softly instead.
Final seconds of the power play. Successful kill, the one-timer. And a fortunate break there for Rico. The far glove side was open, but that is not where the shot went.
Yeah, the aim wasn't quite true enough right there, so we didn't get punished for that. That was excellent puck movement by Parasite to open up that last chance. The man coming out of the box. They knew they had to get one more shot off while they still had the extra space. Rico made the save.
The draw, Mythix back in control. Ollie has done a good job in this game so far. Bobby's backhand shot stopped by Finsere. Again, trying to go to work here. The shot blocked by Tombo. Still in control. Koloslov tries to throw one on. He's for volley. Now back to the point again. Good quick movement here. Poked away by Vatu. That's all it took. One mistake of holding on to it for too long. And the league's leading goal scorer makes it 30 in just 13 games.
I mean, it was unreal. That was such a good zone opportunity for Mythix. They were working the puck around. They were doing it quickly, too, fending off some of the pressure. But yeah, you said it. As soon as kind of Mike had a little bit of hesitation with that puck, Vatu pounced, knocked it loose, gets on a breakaway, and he's not going to miss too often from there. Good kind of attempt by Rico. He just kind of guessed the wrong direction, and Vatu made him pay for it. 3-0 now for Parasite.
Mythix back into the attacking zone. Their second shot of the game there, or of the period, I should say. Game has gotten away from them a little bit. I mean, they start to get that ozone time and get nothing out of it. And right there, from Bobby, that extra pass, trying to find the slot, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
gotta look for a different option.
Yeah, I think you just got to shoot. Test the short side.
Pass there doesn't go. Bobby able to send it back around. Temu was there. Good movement from Parasite. Benito backhand scores. Sin from the forechecking pressure to adjusting in this second period and running the counterattack, and they're still successful. Benito joins in on the fun.
Just beautiful play right there. I mean, Benito makes the kind of the takes the perfect path up the middle, splitting all the defenders. There's about 4 that he skated through. Excellent bit of hesitation, and then the pass at the right moment here. And Benito didn't even quite get as far to the backhand as he wanted to get around the pad, but he just kind of powers it through regardless. It is now 4-0 for Parasite, and they are beginning to run away with this one.
4 goals, 4 different goal scorers. We'll see if Tombo gets involved in the fun. He's still looking for his first of the season. A 4-0 lead for Parasite at the end of 2. Some moments there for Mythix, but Parasite overwhelming.
Yeah, and that's just, the downside. There's been good moments for Mythix, but on the side of Parasites, it's just a great moments, and a lot more of them, a higher volume of those great moments, and they're just every little tiny mistake that Mythix has made, they've been punished for it, and that's what the great teams do. We talk about it all the time. Someone takes a penalty, you gotta punish them in a key situation or any sort of mistake, and right now there's just zero room for error for Mythix. And honestly, I want to say, they've really only made about 4 mistakes in the game. The unfortunate part is they've all kind of ended up in the back of the net as we're getting here. 2 men committed over there, 2 Nicky Dangles, which opened up the space for Benito to kind of slide through. Now, kind of forces it under the pad, maybe even went 5-hole right there, which is, again, another crazy adjustment because you could tell from the way he went to the backhand, he wanted the far side, but makes the aim adjustment to kind of go 5-hole instead, realizing he couldn't get all the way there. I mean, but yeah, again, it's just the tiniest little mistakes that Mythix have made right now, and they paid for every single one of them.
Third period. Still a lot to play for in this game, even if the result could be pretty much set in stone. You never say never. Certainly unlikely at this stage, but we always talk about point differential is massive in terms of the standings. We have seen it decide playoff spots in the past. So for Mythix, keep your heads up. Keep playing a strong game. Nice shot there. You never know just how important the next goal could be. Good individual effort. Puck taken away. Here's Vatu. Back for Tombo. Across for Nicky Dangles. Doesn't quite get there. Just fast movement from Parasite. Good save on the wraparound bid.
And the willingness to shoot, and that's something we haven't seen enough of from Mythix. I mean, the defenseman on that last sequence, so they had the zone, he turned and tried to fire a pass. I would have liked to just see a shot, just put something on net, try to get a rebound, try to get a deflection.
The attacking zone again for Mythix. I mean, it's just, yeah. not going to work. I mean, I imagine that was intended for the point, but it certainly didn't look too pretty. Dangles again wanted that wraparound, couldn't get it. Offside here for Mythix again. Very, very strong team are Mythix, but they are up against the best team in the EU scene right now, and one of the best competitive teams in general. Clean win for Benito in the quick up. Down low for Vatu. Now back to the point. Good poke check by Bobby there. Wanted the stick lift. Didn't even need it. And the legs move and a backhand on. Stopped by Finsere. Pass from Temu sets up Benito. In front, they score! Gold 1T. Vatu has his second of the game and his 31st of the season.
That happened so quick. I'm still kind of trying to figure out how he got that pass through. That's such a small window. I initially thought the pass was going to go to Nicky Dangle, but he was just driving the net and kind of created some contact, took a body away, which opened up that space for Vatu. Just such great awareness right there to send that pass over. And of course, Vatu with that gold 1T. Not going to miss from there. I like that from Bobby right there. Just firing it on. I feel like he's made some passes when he should have been shooting. I like that decision right there.
That's the tough task, though, right? You have a long-time goaltender like Finsere back there. Tough enough to beat a goalie like that, even when the defense isn't stellar. As Vatu has it back. Temu wanted him. Not able to get that pass back. Benito uses the wall to keep it in. Mythix back in control. He's here, lofted in front, and kept out again. Parasite looking to get back into the zone. A 5-0 lead. Benito will send this one in. Need our fact checker extraordinaire, 1B Major. Remind us, of course, what the all-time lead in goals in a season happens to be, because if Vatu keeps up this pace, I mean, he's on 31 and hasn't even played half a season yet. Yeah. It's tough to imagine him not holding that record by the end of this campaign.
I want to say it was set by Playmaker, and I want to say it was near 70, but I could be completely wrong about that. That could have been his points totals as well.
Scramble in front. That Mythix will survive. Momentarily, though, they can't get through the neutral zone. Umbo's pass picked off. Olaslav shot, rebound, kept out as well, as volley stuck on the backhand.
Yeah, perhaps one of their better chances of the game, and it was still saved by Finsere.
Umbo, easy work there. 90 seconds left. Parasite will stay undefeated on the season. Still one more game to go here. The Parasite home game in this series. And an impressive performance from title favorites heading into the season. There were some other teams that were getting some shouts on social media about, hey, maybe this team will finish first in the standings, and Parasite will continue to get further separation as it is a 2-on-0 breakaway here. Nicky Dangle is going to be allowed to take it, and he scores. Unselfish from Vatu as he sets the pick at the blue line to make sure Nicky Dangles has the chance. He has his second of the game. It's 6-0.
Yeah, it's just that's the smart play in that situation, right? You know, because if you don't slow the people down, then the back checkers can catch you here. You know, obviously Vatu sitting on 2 goals. That's a chance for his hat trick. But yeah, unselfish to say the least, does what's best for the team right there. I mean, yet another goal. It, like you said, it likely, you know, it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, but you never know when something comes down to goal differential. For Parasite, they just keep putting themselves in the highest spot in that case. 6-0 here. This third period winds to a close. Wait a sec.
Bobby the effort, Finsere the save to maintain the shutout. That is a clutch stop, and with 0.7 left, that was the last chance of the game. It is a 6-0 win for Parasite and Finsere's first shutout of the season.
That was a sick move by Bobby there at the end. Beats Tamu wide with that kind of, not too sure what we're going to call it, like the new kind of L skating almost. It's when, you know, you're doing that puck protect and hitting the left trigger, or in this case, L2. Your guy kind of does those tomahawk skating a little bit in a weird angle. It helps you sort of protect the puck there, and he gets around Tamu, and wow, just Finsere tracks him beautifully right there. Again, some of their better chances came at the end there when you could say, quote unquote, it did not matter. That rebound play, that one right there. But no, they were able to get something going. What they weren't able to get going, though, was any sort of 1T opportunity, any sort of, you know, extra pass situation. It simply wasn't there. And I'd almost be curious to see, I doubt we'll see it if those wingers were going to switch their builds. If those one-times aren't going to be available, if you're not really going to be able to create off the rush or create, you know, the one-time looks in the zone here, maybe it might be more beneficial to switch to like a make it snappy or a close quarters here and just start pulling the trigger when you get that lane. And even on the backhand, as we saw, they opted not to take a couple backhand shots. I think if you had like gold close quarters, gold make it snappy even, you'd be able to pull the trigger more. I would like to see it out of Koloslav and Bobby, but I don't know if we will. I think a lot of teams are just going to kind of keep to their meta. We don't often see build switches in the middle of 2-game series as much. We've seen it in the playoffs before. It is something that I would like to see in this situation because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they got off a single one-timer. I don't even think they were even close to really getting off a one-timer. All those passes and all those opportunities were being snuffed out.
To my recollection, yeah, they didn't have that kind of clear-cut opportunity, right? And it's with both of their wingers as well having the gold 1T to match Vatu and Nicky Dangles. And yeah, those opportunities just did not present themselves. It is a big victory for Parasite in game number 1. Game 2 coming up in just a matter of moments. Stick with us.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Way now for Mythix, though. A little bit of space here. Steps in. Short side. Good stop by Finsere. But they leave that left side open. Vatu with space. Sends to the cross. They score!
Actually just stops right in the slot. The defenseman kind of overskate a little bit. That opens up the passing lane. Nicky Dangles making no mistake.
A little bit of trouble down low. Find the kick. The one-timer. They score!
Great puck support coming out from Parasite. Down low, they just want every loose puck, and they continue to earn them right there. Their positioning is great.
Just so little space, and if they do find space, it disappears quickly. Vatu short side shot. That one stopped. Short side shot. That one stopped. Full pressure for Parasite. One-timer saved by Rico. Parasite Two for Nikki Dangles. Good block. Benito back in front as time expires. Space to be found. Nikki Dangles. Low shot on and stops off the mark. Already halfway through the second period. Good job by Bobby to get that pocket again. The pass in front's just not there. And a penalty is going to be called.
Okay, right there. And just kind of decided to dump it in softly instead.
Seconds of the power play. Successful kill, the one-timer. And a poked away by Vatu. That's all it took. One mistake of holding on to it for too long. Score makes it 30 in just 13 games. Parasite. Benito backhand scores.
Through excellent bit of hesitation and then the pass at the right moment here. And Benito didn't even quite get as far to the backhand as he wanted to get around the pad, but he just...
Keep your heads up. Keep playing a strong game. Nice shot there. You never know just how important the next goal could be. Good individual there. Wanted the stick lift. Didn't even need it. And the legs move and a backhand on. Stop. Pass from Tamu sets up Benito. In front, they score. Vatu has his second of the game and his 31st of the season. Almost pass picked off. Olaslav shot. As it is a 2-on-0 breakaway here. Nikki Dangle is going to be allowed to take it, and he scores.
6-0 here. This third period winds to a close. Wait a sec.
Bobby the effort fins.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
And we are back, everybody. Again, a big thank you for sticking with us here. Game 2 just about to begin. Parasite taking on Mythix. Sin, you and I were discussing whether or not the unlikely situation would occur if Mythix would kind of change up those player builds a little bit, just because of their lack of opportunities on the one-timer. They stick with the same builds. We'll see if it works, if they can get those chances. But I think there is some validity to that idea of like, hey, where'd most of your chances come from? Maybe something like close quarters would have been more beneficial.
Yeah, they are both rocking the silver close quarters, but like I said, maybe even, gold close quarters with a silver make it snappy. It just seemed like those one-timer looks were not going to really readily present themselves, but it is a new game. We'll see if they are able to find a little bit more space, but if Parasite plays the same way that they did in the last one, or at least close to it, it's going to be very, very tough for Mythix. But here we go, underway.
And Parasite in the home reds for this one, and a couple of early chances as they look to keep up their undefeated start to this season. Mythix, of course, gonna get some points on the board here as they are very much involved in the playoff race. Trying to secure one of those lower seeds, if possible. A nice low shot there. Couldn't get the rebound, though. Promising look for Koloslav. Chance here, the net drive, and okay job here getting pucks towards goal.
Yeah, I like it from Mythix. They're not trying to force that pass right now. They're just trying to get to the net and, create some havoc, get some shots on. I like the early rebound opportunity. I love that net drive from Mike. They haven't buried one quite yet, but that's exactly what they kind of need to do. Maybe simplify the game a little bit. Just take what's available instead of trying to force what they want.
As Mythix trying to get established. The offensive zone. Parasite able to shut them down. Over to the half wall. Back to the point. D. The one-timer from Tombo. Didn't get all of it. Blocked by the traffic in front. Temu stepping in. Short side. Good stop by Rico. Once again, look to get something going. Just not enough speed through the neutral zone. Parasite quickly work it back in. Out to the Temu. The shot blocked down in front, and nearly a bit of friendly fire.
Rico will cover that right there, but really like that decision-making from Parasite early on. You can see what they're doing. They're not forcing anything either, and they're just taking what's available to them. A really great cycle, and it always comes down to their puck retrieval. You're going to hear me bringing that up a lot, but it's just such a pivotal part of their game. They win so many puck battles down low in both zones, which obviously is going to allow you to continue the attack or just get it out of your zone quick.
Puck towards goal there. Kept out. Parasite. Get going back down the other way. Nicky Dangle's pass. Good pick off by Mickey's there. See the continued high press from Parasite. Not feeling the need to drop back and trap, and you can see why. Here's Vatu. Tries to find Benito. Good collapse, though, by Mythix there. On the back pressure, but Benito hits him with the same move. Well, they even got to the attacking zone. Patience there. Ombo stepping in. He scores! First goal of the season. He finally finds the back of the net on a great individual effort.
I like it too. Just kind of, again, took what was there. The pass down low was covered. The pass in the slot was covered. He had a little bit of space. Just kind of waltzes through, pulls it to the forehand, quickly rips a shot on. And Rico couldn't close the pads in time. I believe that went 5-0, but you said it. Yeah, Tumbo, his first goal of the season. Didn't get in on the action in the last game where every other team member of his scored, but he gets the first in this one. Parasite up 1-0.
Look at that. All 5 members now of the Parasite lineup with a goal in the action today. As the top team in the league continues this tremendous pace. Mythix on the back foot already. Which is really what they needed to avoid. Loose puck recovered here. Nicky Dangles and Temu both involved. He's able to survive that. Can they get a counterattack going? Pass off the mark. Foot race for it. Benito wins.
That's an unfortunate missed pass right there. Bobby would have had a little bit of space as Benito didn't quite play his coverage perfectly right there. Bobby could have just skated in, be able to kind of rip a shot, but you never know. Again, some of the recovery defense that we see out of Benito is just stellar.
Good poke check there by Vatu. Works his way through and he scores. Sin, he is on a different level this season. He has always been a strong two-way player, maybe a little bit overshadowed by Nicky Dangles in that regard. Vatu has just taken another step forward, as if that was even possible, but clearly it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was absolutely unreal. That poke check was brilliant to knock it loose, and then not only that, navigates his way through another defender, fights through the stick check, pulls it to his Oh my, that was just beautiful. Beats Rico right there. Parasite up 2-0, and that wasn't even necessarily a mistake on the side of Mythix, as it was just a beautiful forecheck coming out from Vatu.
Chance on the short side. Finsere plays it out. He's got confidence. 32 goals now for Vatu in, well, 13 1/3 games played. This one is far from over. Mythix get the puck back. They have numbers here, but do they have the speed to make things happen? Force in front's just not there. Again, the Parasite defense able to recover. Lift by Benito, opens up a second chance. They win it back one more time. Teemu's shot. Good blocker stop by Rico. Get the final few seconds. Teemu, another chance off a loose puck. He'll get one more chance as Rico played it out. But Mythix will survive it. Sin, you used the word swarming earlier on. The perfect description. A Parasite up 2 at the end of the first period.
Yeah, and they're continuing to swarm right here. That last sequence, there was a beautiful read that Benito made. Instead of going into the boards to force the puck carrier, he backed out and then covered the passing lane. And he right there, you see it right there. He was able to. Oh wait, no, sorry, that was the Vatu goal. It looked very similar there, but yeah, he, instead of pressuring the puck on the boards, he instead took a different route, covered a pass, and then he deflected the pass, and that's what allowed them to stay in the offensive zone for the last 15 seconds or so of that period. It's the little things. It's the little things like that that Parasite do so well that may kind of go unnoticed, but it's those small decisions that you make that can dictate the pace of a game. Right there, what came from that was a couple more shots on net and a couple more scoring chances. We get yet another look at that beautiful Vatu forecheck, which led to the goal. And this, of course, first goal from Tombo. Beautiful for him, first of the season. But yeah, again, it's the details of the game. Parasite, they have incredible skill, but what always impresses me so much is their details. And that's what you need to succeed at this level, and they have that.
Second period underway. Always the action brought to you by our friends at Kovalon Lockwoodsie. Again, it is just our first matchup of this broadcast. A little bit later on, two other teams on the bubble to make a playoff spot. GOONS and the Falun Coal Miners go head-to-head as we wrap up our coverage of Week 3 action here with the ECL Elite Division. And most teams now approaching, if not already there, at the halfway point. And for Bobby, he might be halfway towards throwing his controller. What a chance, but what a save by Finsere.
Beautiful save right there. Almost seemed to come from nowhere. It looked like Parasite was going to get that puck out, forcing it loose, but Bobby was the one kind of getting it out front off of another loose puck, puts it on the backhand. Beautiful recovery save by Finsere.
Mentioned that quite a bit in the first game, right? Like, you get these opportunities, and then you still have to beat, someone who has been a consistently great goalie in the Elite Division, former goaltender of the season. It's just a Parasite lineup that is absolutely loaded with talent. They're back in on the attack here. Of course, and it's just ridiculous, too. Like, you talk about, like, oh, yeah, they have Finsere in goal. Oh, he hasn't started all of their games. Who's their other goalie? That's just Nike, one of the most dominant goalies we've seen in our time here in the Elite Division. It is just a ridiculous roster. As Nicky dangles, head of steam. Nice move to try to get back to the forehand. Defended well, though, by Mickey's. There's very few inroads for Mythix right now.
Yeah, and everything's kind of ramping up right now on the side of Parasite. The aggression, they're smelling blood in the water. They're stepping up, making hits. They're making intercepts. They're digging for those loose pucks. Great poke check right there by Benito. I mean, it's just Mythix has no time, no space to make things happen.
Teemu steps up, big head of steam, tries to find Nicky Dangle's defense was there. to hound the puck carrier. Bobby chips it down low. No chance for Koloslav to make a play. Benito. Quick movement as Vatu. On look for Nicky Dangles. Tries to go in front. Mickey's makes another good play. Some numbers here. And a shot. Didn't get all of it. Glove stop by Finsere.
Yeah, they finally are able to kind of find that one-time option off the rush, the high zone 1T. You saw that kind of back and forth between Koloslav and Bobby right there, but I don't think he got all of it. I didn't really see that much power behind that right there. And with that gold 1T, that should have been flying towards the net. So finally get it, and the execution's just a bit off.
Emu able to recover the puck. Has options, finds Vatu. Good stop by Rico. Tired legs there. Nothing for Koloslav to do. Pick off by Wida. Tossed across. Trouble there on the doorstep. Finsere able to keep it out. Puck is still technically loose. And finally able to cover.
Bobby has got to be feeling like the definition of snake bitten right now. I mean, he's had so many good chances in tight. He just cannot find the back of the net. Once again, right there, kind of being gifted a loose puck in front. And as you said, you get by everyone, you get your chance. You still have to beat Finsere, and he continues to be flawless.
God angle one-timer. Finally getting one of those clean opportunities, but a little bit too sharp of an angle for Bobby there. Dangles. Demu, Tombo at the point. 90 seconds to go in the period. Mythix have done a pretty good job of halting the bleeding throughout this period. From a defensive standpoint, this one going to be sent all the way down. Foot race for it. Good job there by Mickey's once again. He's had a strong period.
Yeah, he really has. Defensively, he's been really, really good. A lot of key breakups, and right there, obviously, slowing down Nicky Dangles, who may have had a chance to kind of win that foot race there. And they get an offensive zone draw.
Can't make the most of it, though, and that will bring us to the end of the second. A 2-0 lead for Parasite, heading into the third. One last chance for Mythix to try to get something going.
Yeah, we're seeing, again, better defensive play overall from Mythix, but it's still Parasite. It's their game. They're dictating the pace. They're getting tons and tons of zone cycles. The difference being right now is that obviously you're seeing a lot of key breakups, really, from Mike in particular. He has been phenomenal here. We haven't really mentioned Vedox's name too much, but that can be a good thing. As a defender, you know, usually means you're making the correct play, or you're playing in your position, you're just making that simple first pass, and that's kind of what you want to see a lot of the times. Out of a defenseman, you know, especially in a matchup like this, keep things simple, because if you try to get too fancy, that's when Parasite will punish you. And that's what we saw a bit of in that last game, particularly on the offensive zone for Mythix, where they're trying to make that extra pass, or, you know, trying to delay a little bit to make something happen. So often it led to counterattacks. You're seeing right there how Tumbo just kind of slid that 1-5-hole. 2-0, not as many shots from Parasite in this one. They're opting maybe not to pull the trigger as much, maybe looking for the extra pass here and there, probably feeling very confident after that first one. But I think in this third period, we're going to see them ramp up the pressure even more, probably start to pull the trigger a bit more, and just kind of dig for a few more goals here.
Here we go. It is the third period. Parasite looking to stay undefeated as they step over, or step two, I should say, the halfway point of the season. That's the crazy thing, right? 30-game regular season. This is only game number 14. And yet heading into this game, 70 goals for, 18 against. And a chance. Oh, man, if there was a right-handed shot on the other end of that, probably would have had a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. But that was, you know, Valle down low and just ran out of space, did a good job of skating to create that space. But yeah, you said it, just didn't have the right-handedness to make that work.
Go for that quick out again to Vatu. Has some space, throws it on. Good save. As Rico was able to stick with it. I think he was sliding over to that glove side post anyway, perhaps expecting the pass.
Yeah, that's just You may be correct on that one, but either way, still a very key save right there. It can be so hard for goaltenders to make those saves when someone's cutting across the middle after they beat a defender wide.
Point. Down low yet again, Parasite. Good job by Mythix holding them to the perimeter for the moment, but again, all it takes is one slip up. Low shot, rebound. Mythix was there. Again for Nicky Dangles. Parasite racking up the ozone time. Pass for Benito was off the mark. They'll have to reset. Offside here. Again, Mythix have done a good job as the game's gone on to play defense, but still not able to get too much going offensively.
Yeah, and that's the issue here. You know, they're doing as well of a job, what we mentioned in the pregame, of just slowing down the attack. I mean, holding this team to 2 goals at this point, that's, you know, put yourself in a winnable position. The problem is it's that they cannot find a way to beat Finsete right now. They've had some good chances in tight, and you know, I'm not going to harp too much on their choices, but you got to wonder for Bobby, if, you know, he was rocking gold close quarters, would he have buried, you know, kind of one of those in tight chances that he had? Obviously, we know he does have the silver one, but silver versus gold, you know, it makes enough of a difference. Maybe.
Check there from Benito. Able to hold on to it through the pressure. Two has it poked away. Mythix again trying to get something going. Big hit by Tama with the blue line. Now into the attacking zone. Nicky Dangles gets floored by Koloslav. But he's back up on his feet the other way. Exhausted, though. And it does not matter. Quick set of passes. Vatu has another one. Make it 3-0 for Parasite.
I mean, just an excellent read of the situation by Nicky Dangles. Doesn't try to, like, use the last of his stamina to get towards there. He delays, he waits for support, and there goes Benito and Vatu. One pass to Benito, a quick one over to Vatu on that 1T, and you said it, yet another goal for him. What is that? He's up to 32 now on the season? Unreal. 33. Jeez.
Goal scoring record is in trouble. As Parasite add yet another goal. Again, and that all started with Nicky Dangles getting leveled in the offensive zone. It's a one-timer there. Good stop by Finsere. It's just those quick passes and perfect positioning from Vatu to know where to go. Nicky Dangles on the doorstep after the pass to Vatu didn't go through. Couldn't hold on to it there. Bobby with a bit of speed sends a cross, and they do find the back of the net. Little bit of help, but they'll take what they can get. Mythix finally on the board.
Yeah, getting themselves an odd man rush right there, and you can see right there Koloslav trying to slow up to open himself up for that 1T. You know, he gets a little bit of help. He makes contact with the puck, but I really like it from Bobby right here. I thought for sure he was going to actually send it to Vale right there, but he actually took a different route as well. So the pass went back, sort of split the difference between he and Koloslav. Koloslav makes connection with it and just kind of trickles in after hitting something in front, but that's a break that Mythix needed. Down by 2, 8 minutes left. If they can get another quick one, definitely got ourselves a game.
And sometimes a lucky bounce is just what you need to get going, but Mythix are low on time. Just 7:15 remaining in regulation. And we still have our second matchup to go on this broadcast. Goons and Falun Coal Miners coming up next. And they have to be loving the results of this, and we mentioned it. Mythix very much in a bubble playoff spot. Goons and the Falun Coal Miners, the same thing. With Mythix presumably not picking up a point in this series. Only good news for those other two teams.
Yeah, that door is wide open for them two to be able to leapfrog Mythix here after this matchup.
Point here for Mythix. That pass off the mark. Space. Nikki dangles for Temu. Big save. May have clipped the post. Benito back to Vatu. I was going to say for Vatu, you can tell they're trying to get him the puck a bit more. He passed up on the hat trick in game 1. Looks like he wants it here in game 2. Nikki dangles, tries that short side. Temu! Vatu, should I say? I thought he was going to go to Temu at the point. No, of course he's going to go to Vatu because he cannot stop scoring. Parasite presumably put this game out of reach, and Vatu gets his hat trick.
He's just so good at finding space. Look at that right there. Has body position on both the defensemen and shoots it perfectly. Benito's looking for him the whole way right there, and just an excellent bit of timing right there from the forwards of Parasite. The play down low by Nikki Dangles to send it across to Benito, right where he needs to be, open for that pass, and he sends it back in front quickly. Crazy performance from Vatu. 5 goals across these 2 games to just continue to increase his goal total now up to 34.
He shot through traffic, doesn't find a way through. The stellar performance of Parasite continues. It has been a full team effort in this one. Atu up ahead for Nikki Dangles. Has options. Good job, though. By Mickey's to read the stop. Take that one away. Dangles back up on his feet. Has Vatu again. He scores! I don't blame Rico for thinking the switch to the backhand might be on the way. But Vatu simply can't make a mistake this season.
No, absolutely not. And yeah, it's just Rico needs more support right there. Mythix kind of coming unraveled here at the end. You know, they had it close for so long, but again, that's just another. They had in the last sequence, there's a couple breakaway opportunities for Parasite, and you just can't let that happen. I know they're pressing for offense here and things like that, but leaving Rico out to dry there. A couple different sequences. The first one well defended by Mike. Laying that hit on Nikki Dangles, not even getting a shot on the initial partial breakaway opportunity, but that one just beautiful. And Vatu, he just can't miss.
5-1. Mythix just 1 goal in this series. It went off of a skate on a fortunate bounce because aside from that, Vincere has had a great performance here tonight as well. Tough not to be overshadowed with an offensive performance, just an all-around performance that the team in front of him has had, but he has made some big stops tonight. I called it an embarrassment of riches earlier on for the Parasite lineup. They will stay undefeated through 14 games and 1 more for the road. No mercy from Vatu and Parasite.
5 goals now in this game. You could see that Mythix was just looking to kind of kill the rest of the time. And leaping play at the point right there to Benito to keep that one in, sending it over to Vatu, who goes far side and scored. Nikki Dangles was open for that, one time right there, but Vatu said, whatever, I'll just rip this anyway. 5-goal game for Vatu in this one. Ridiculous.
And mercifully for Mythix, this game comes to a close. Parasite, another big victory. 6-0, and then 6-1 in game 2. As they stay atop the standings, again undefeated, and just 2 points off of the max through 14 games played.
And I think their goal differentials now, they came in at like 68 and like 18 or something like that, and now they're at 80.
It was 70 and 18 heading into this game.
Okay, so
76 and 19.
Insane. Just wow. I mean, this could be a team of the ages right here. They look unbeatable. in every single facet. They're scoring in a variety of different ways. Their defending is great, and they're defending well in a variety of different ways. Recovery defense, back checking, you know, in zone collapse, and pressuring puck carriers, winning puck battles. And then of course you have Finsete and Nikke in goal for you. I mean, wow, this Parasite team right now, they're looking scary. We'll just say tough go for Mythix. You know, they were able to get that goal. I'm sure they're not feeling too good about that, given the fact it was kind of, you know, a bouncing sort of play. They weren't able to get those one-timers established. I think they had 2 total looks throughout the entirety of this 2-game set. So it's tough against a team like Parasite. You know, they take away the meta. Whatever the meta is, Parasite can just take it away, and they've done so in this 2-game set. And you know, for Mythix, it's a tough go. You know, maybe the expectations weren't super high for them, but you know, every team here is competitive. Every team wants to kind of, you know, just find a way to get some points. They weren't able to get anything, and that door for Goons and the Falun coal miners is wide open.
Whether it's Temu, Vatu, or just in general, ew, to steal a line from Nasher, this Parasite team is gross in an incredibly fun way to watch. Like you said, dynamic on both sides of the ice. And certainly at the midway point of the season, our championship favorites. There will be some other clubs that have something to say about that. But Parasite proving to be the team to beat for this season. We'll continue, of course, to follow along to the second half to see if they can keep up this ridiculous pace. For Mythix, it's just 2 games you got to chalk up as like, all right, moving on. Just, we got other games to play this season. Let's just focus on those, essentially.
Yeah, it wasn't like Mythix lost these games in any way. They just got beat by a really, really good team. Like, there wasn't like a glut of mistakes. It's just that every little mistake ends up in the back of your net against Parasite, and that's just, it's a tough way to play.
So with that, our first matchup is in the books. On the other side of a brief break, we'll have our second matchup of the broadcast. It is Goons taking on the Falun coal miners. So stick with us, and we'll be right back.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
First goal of the season. He finally finds the back of the net on a great individual effort.
Pass down low was covered. The pass in the slot was covered. He had a little bit of space. Just kind of waltzes through, pulls it to the forehand, quickly rips a shot on.
When he scores. Opens up a second chance. They win it back one more time. Temu's shot. Good blocker stop by Rico. Final few seconds. Temu another chance off a loose puck head to head. As we wrap up our coverage of Week 3 action here. The ECL Elite Division. Most teams now approaching, if not already. Nicky Dangles tries to go in front. Mickey's makes another good play. Some numbers here. And a shot. Temu able to recover the puck. Has options, finds Vatu. Good stop by Rico. Go for that quick out again to Vatu. Has some space, throws it on. Good save. His feet the other way, exhausted though, and it does not matter. Quick set of passes. Vatu has another one. Feed sends across, and they do find the back of the net. Little bit of help, but they'll take what they can get. The mark. Space, Nicky Dangles for Temu. Big save, may have clipped the post. Temu, Vatu, should I say? I thought he was going to go to Temu at the point. No, of course he's going to go to Vatu because he cannot stop scoring.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
We are back again. A big thank you for everybody joining us here on our Wednesday broadcast in our ECL Elite Division coverage. Our first matchup is in the books. It's time to get ready for the second one, a showdown between GOONS and the Falun coal miners. So let's take a look at the standings to show you where these two teams are currently placed. And of course, helps us kind of understand just how important this matchup is. As you see, GOONS currently occupying 7th place in the standings, but Sin, the Falun coal miners, just 2 spots back, 4 points back, 2 games at hand. They have a big day here. They will make it ahead of GOONS.
Yeah, absolutely. And, and also Mythix, who, as we just saw in the last matchup, couldn't pick up a point against Parasite. And, Falun Coal Miners only need those 3 points to be able to tie them, and then should actually have it on a goal differential right there. So if they're able to pick up 4, they've effectively leapfrog Mythix. They have an even bigger match. As you were saying, they will be able to leapfrog Goons as well. So just a huge, huge opportunity here for the Falun Coal Miners to make up some ground in the standings with some of those games in hand that they have.
Takes about a 1.5 points per game pace to currently be in the playoffs. You have Exon and Vesapampa both averaging 1.5 points per game. Goons at a 1.43, Falun at a 1.33, and now Mythix at a 1.19. So it is a big result here, depending on how this goes. If it's a big day for the Falun Coal Miners, they are right in that mix for one of those, lower tier playoff spots. If it's a big night for Goons, that is an immense amount of separation that they'll get on the likes of the Falun Coal Miners and Mythix. Yeah. So a lot to play for in this one.
Yeah, and as we always say, there's always something to play for in the ECL Elite, whether you're trying to make the playoffs, avoid those relegation spots. But in this matchup especially, you said it, yeah, Goons want some separation, maybe even be able to leapfrog Polsky Boys, Blackjacks, Musta Kulta. I mean, look at that, a 3-way tie right now in points-wise in that 4, 5, 6 slot. So much for both of these two teams on the line here.
There's still a lot to be decided. Let's take a look at some of the more in-depth stats here. Of course, you would have been able to see the point differentials for these two teams. Currently in the negative for the goal differential, I should say, with 34 goals for Goons. Of course, 2 extra games played, as we mentioned. Looking at the special teams, though, Sin, I mean, that could be where this is ultimately decided.
Yeah, Coal Miners have had a good power play so far. Neither team's penalty kill really stellar to start the season, but that being said, a lot of room to make those improvements. Goons have struggled on the power play thus far, so, both teams probably likely going to want to stay out of the box as much as possible. We only saw the 1 power play in the previous matchup. Both those two teams remain disciplined. Curious to see what's going to happen here in this one.
So as we get ready for this game, let's get a look at the lineups for this one. As again for Goons, the front 3 of Kantala, Lexa, and Canary, with Sisu and Easy Sniper on the defensive side of things, and Circula in goal. On the other side, no name changes, as we learned. I guess there's something going on in regards to in-game glitches and all that, which, hey, I don't put it past NHL 25. We have Stronmanen on the left, Smake as the center, and Buffy on the right, with Furion and Supremski on the blue line in defense, and in goal is Ellie Kamel. And let's take a look at those two centers. It is Lexa taking on Smake. Smake had a very strong start to the season, still impressive numbers thus far, but this is a pretty even battle on paper.
Yeah, absolutely. Points, right there next to each other. I mean, the points per game a little bit higher on the side of Smake, but, the face-off battle really, really close. Could come down to those key draws in the offensive and defensive zone, but we do see a differential maybe in the play style here. Smake being more of that goal scorer, whereas Lexa, a lot more of the disher, bit of a hybrid production for him.
Up next, it is the winger comparison that we have. Once again, it is Kantala and Canary against Stronmanen and Buffy. And Sin, as we get a look here at the numbers, I mean, there's a couple that stand out for me, but I'm intrigued at what catches your eye.
Yeah, it's obviously the hits on the side of Kantala and Canary right there. I was looking at the points so far. Again, very, very even between these two teams. And yeah, a lot of physicality, especially on the side of Goons right there, living up to their namesake. And even the shots are relatively even between all of them. Stronmanen taking a few fewer shots in the grand scheme of things here. But yeah, I mean, both these two teams, they got solid production all the way around. They obviously want to try to boost that up while still playing good defensively because they both have those negative goal differentials.
Goons, of course, the most physical team in the league, no surprise, as they continue to live up to their namesake. On the defensive side of things, Sisu and Easy Sniper squaring off against Furion and Supremski. Now, Sin, of course, an interesting matchup here. Of course, we've seen Sisu now in the elite for a couple of seasons. Of course, just kind of, took the scene by storm with a shocking 1v1 title win, and has developed into a very solid defenseman at this tier. On the other side, though, a lot of experience, especially with Captain Furion.
Yeah, I was just going to say Furion, probably the most experienced individual in this matchup, has been ECL. I want to say even since the first season. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, he's just been around forever. It feels like he's been around since, the start of the ECL, and he's just continued to be a solid defenseman all the way around. In the past, he's maybe had some more points than he does right now, but, still a very solid player. But yeah, you said it. On that flip side, Sisu, kind of one of those, really young talents that we're really looking forward into seeing how he develops. Obviously, 6 is a much different game than the 1v1, but that skill set that he will bring from the 1v1 is obviously incredibly translatable.
And you were correct. Indeed, a season 1 original for Furion. And of course, the battle of the goaltenders next. It is Circola and Ellie Kamel. And Sin, obviously, the numbers for one side looking a little bit better than the other. But again, these two teams are very, very close in the standings, have had that kind of tumultuous up and down between elite and pro over the last calendar year or so. So again, while some numbers might look more favored to one side, this is still going to be a close matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Circola right now having the better numbers when it comes to goaltenders, has played not quite all of his game. Both these two goaltenders have rotated out for 2 of their teams' games, but they are clearly the number ones on their respective squads. We have seen, Ellie Kamel has been able to steal games before within his tenure here in the ECL, has made some crazy saves. So while the numbers might not quite be there, we know from experience that he can stand on his head and make some of those key saves that his team is going to need.
Again, we are just a few moments away from the action getting underway as we get ready for our second series of the broadcast. Again, it is Goons taking on the Falun coal miners as we get ready for what should be a very interesting and ultimately very important matchup, as these two teams, again, are about ready to go. We get a look at them in the lobby as, maybe some surprises. A couple of gold crease crashers with silver 1T on the Goons side of things.
Yeah, very interesting. And I'm pretty sure I saw a couple gold close quarters as well. So yeah, much kind of different build setup that we're seeing with these two teams than we did in the last one. Obviously we just saw the gold 1Ts all the way around. We're getting an even slightly more in-depth look right there. Yeah, crease crasher is not necessarily something that you see all the time.
And couldn't help but notice, of all the people to be rocking gold truculence, Supremski is the one, as opposed to anybody on the Goons side of things. But here we go. Game number 1. Goons and the Falun coal miners going head-to-head for their regular season matchup. And very important series for both of these teams. These are the matchups that see you either make the playoffs or miss out when you are not taking on, say, a top team like Parasite.
The coal miners will start with the puck as they win the opening faceoff.
From the Goons' perspective here in their road whites for this matchup.
From the right side, he goes.
This is up ahead for Alexa. Falun able to take it away quickly.
Takes the feed, moving in. Quick pass to Kemper.
Quick movement. Good shot on there.
When he has the puck on his stick, he's like a magician in his
From
heart
Smake.
string.
And a nice save from Circola to start off this game.
Here's a short pass to Normandin. The coal miners get a hold of the puck.
Strommanen doesn't have any help. Does a good job, though, of holding on, waiting.
The pass down low.
Remski back down low. Strommanen again.
And he takes the feed. Here's
Quick
a
movement
shot.
here. Furion can't get that shot through.
Grabs the puck here at the blue line. And look at
Once
this.
again, the one-timer and another good stop. But some good looks early on for the coal miners.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what they need. We saw a lot of kind of back and forth action early on right there, but really once the coal miners kind of got rolling, they got a few shots on, opened up some opportunities there, and that was Buffy over there making himself available for that 1T.
Rauma's looking to break out of their own end.
Sisu in control.
Oh, look out.
Takes the big hit on the wall, though, from Supremski. Again, gold truculence for him. As the pass in front, second chance and a couple of swings at it for Smake, but Coal Miner's able to survive.
Yeah, it was a really, really good good kind of pass right there by Strongman, kind of hitting the trailer right there and really kind of creating some issues for the defense of Goons here, who have been kind of thrown for a loop.
High up on the draw. Lex is able to win. Goons trying to get something going here. Easy. Just Sniper has it poked away by Strongman. Back over to Smake. Strongman again. Can't get that shot through. Ariane stepping in. Now down the other way. One timer attempt. Second chance. They score. Got James Smolsky doing my job for me, but Kontala, great goal to kick off the scoring here. Goons strike first.
Yeah, just kind of a broken play goal right there, but that's why you want to follow up the opportunities. Kontala follows up his pass. It gets deflected, picks it up in the slot, and then just rips it home with that gold close quarters. Not a whole lot that Ellie Kamel could have done in that situation. So tough kind of break there for the Falun Coal Miners. They started off so strong, got a lot of good chances, some good offensive zone time, but it's Goons who are able to strike first here. And looks like we are going to get the settings fixed right here and commentary off, and hopefully some player indicator colors on the side of the Coal Miners as well. But I mean, that's just, you know, the break that kind of Goons needed. They started off a little bit slow. They were a little bit sloppy in possession. You know, that when Easy to Sniper kind of just tried to peel in right there, he got it poked off his stick just way too easily and created an odd man opportunity for the Falun Coal Miners that, you know, Smake had the couple of opportunities, but we'll see what Falun Coal Miners is going to be able to do in response here.
Well, you know, I was kind of looking forward to James Sabalski making our job a little bit easier. Could have, you know, could have just ran with it. I mean, hey, so far, still here. We'll see if he, oh, he's still going. Cool. I mean, hey, makes my job easier. That's for sure. But, all right, we will continue on here, see if they can get that sorted for the second intermission, as it is Falun Coal Miners in on the attack again, trailing by 1. Goal from Kontala. Entered play today, 14 games played, 12 goals. Now make it at least 13. And the team leading scorer as Furion. Did he break his stick? Yep. Yes, he did. Chance for Goons. One-timer, big stop by Ellie Kamel. Goons again, another chance. Good block from Smake that time. Still without a stick is Furion. Kicks it to the half wall. Trying to do what he can. Grabbed a stick from a teammate. That was Smake who lost his as he heads to the bench. And the Coal Miners survive a bit of a scare. As Buffy in control turns it over to Kontala, though. Now down the ice. Smake stripped to the puck by Lexa.
It looked like he tried to make an extra pass out to the outside. Had a bit of space, opted not to take it, and turns it over.
Movement. Kontala shot again in a glove stop by Ellie Kamel.
Yeah, just Falun Coal Miners need a bit of a breather right there. They're starting to kind of, not really fall apart, but making a few mistakes right here, and Goons are pouncing all over them. One face-off win away from full pressure.
They have it. Can they maintain possession? Yes, they can. Stepping in. Easy to Sniper. Good opportunity there. Still full pressure against the Coal Miners. Goons looking to step up. Surprised they weren't stepping up a little bit more. Reverse hit by Supremski. You don't see that too often. Still now a chance for Goons trying to pick that corner. Another save from Ellie Kamel.
Yeah, might have actually clipped the post as well.
As Strongman in the attacking zone, nowhere to go. What Sisu can do here. We have 1 minute left in the period. Falun again trying to make something happen. Smake, good protection, just loses it on the double team pressure. And one more rush from Goons is broken up. Maybe one last chance for the coal miners. Furion over the line and runs out of time. Goons with a 1-0 lead at the end of the first period.
Kind of a tale of two halves. Of first half of that, Falun Coal Miners, I really liked what they were doing, getting some offensive chances, moving the puck around really well, but then Goons really kind of just hit another level, and they started forcing pucks away, and they cleaned up a couple of the little tiny mistakes that they made. Unfortunately, didn't pay for them. Obviously, that goal was pretty big, but it was after that where really they started to kind of seize the momentum of this game, and Falun Coal Miners got to find a way to kind of get back to what they were doing in the first kind of few minutes, first half of that period. You can see they do have still the advantage of the time on attack, but they only have those 3 shots, and Goons seem a lot more willing to be pulling the trigger right now. And that's kind of been the difference. They're rocking, I think, both of their wingers having the gold close quarters, which is, that's telling me that they're going to kind of shoot from just about anywhere if they get in, close enough to be able to trigger that. As we're seeing another look right there, that's a bit unfortunate, as I think that was a Smake. He got the intercept animation, but didn't get the puck possession, and that's what created that goal for Kontala. He just kind of skated in, took it, and ripped it top shelf.
Here we go. The second period now underway. As always, the action brought to you by our friends at Kovalan Lakritzy, as James Sobolski just will not be silenced for this particular game, so try to have that fixed for game number 2. As Furion shot from the point, Smake posted up in front. Big save there by Circola.
Yeah, I really like to see that coming out, just going for those deflection opportunities, anything right now. Good start to this second period by the Falun Coal Miners.
As off the draw shot there from Buffy. Coal Miners getting a couple of early looks here to kick off this second period in game 1 of 2 between these two clubs. They pass back over to Kontala, the lone goal scorer in this one so far. A little bit of trouble here. Strawman in for the Falun Coal Miners. Nice shot. And stopped. That's 6 shots apiece now for both sides.
Yeah, well played by Circola, trusting his defense right there, just holding the short side.
Kontala stuck on the backhand, tried to go to the forehand. Smake was there with the poke check. See what the Coal Miners can do on this particular break-in. Furion posts up. Strawman in the high one-timer. Red-timed anyway from Buffy. It was blocked. Now a chance. Poked away from Canary. Played out. More of a high press from Goons. Furion, quick pass over to Smake. Down low for Strawman and can't hold on to it, trying to win it back. Sisu does a good job. That pass, though, off a skate. Coal Miners still in the attacking zone. Supremski fakes the shot. Buffy tried the feed back in front. Ill-advised. Too much traffic. Good step up again. The Coal Miners now really starting to amp up.
That stick.
The aggression. That stick must have gone 15 feet in the air. We're going to have a penalty here. It looked like it was a hooking infraction. As the Coal Miners, if they need it, will go to the power play. And indeed, they will get a chance on the man advantage.
Yeah, Kontala going to be headed to the box right here. The puck was stripped off. He goes, very, very late stick lift attempt right there. No doubt about that one. So we get a chance to see the Falun Coal Miners power play go to work. Now they have a pretty good one, over that 25% mark. And this is a big opportunity for them to be able to tie this game up.
Big opportunity indeed. They've gotten some good chances throughout this period. Power play goes to work. Buffy all the way to Furion at the point. Ronmanen takes his time. Nice shot. The rebound kept out as well. Good saves, but still in possession with full pressure. A shot wired by Buffy. And another one, they score! A very strong power play effort from the Falun Coal Miners, and they tie this game up at 1 apiece.
Absolutely love to see that. Not afraid to be pulling the trigger. And that's what you want to see on the power play. Not only just, good passing, good puck retrieval, but, just being able to fire from a lot of different locations in such a small amount of time. They had about 3 good shots, obviously culminating into that last one there on the one time for Buffy, just powering it by Circula on the power play. It is all tied up here. Great man advantage from the Falun Coal Miners.
We have a tie game on our hands here. A very early icing call immediately after.
That was interesting. That was a really nice set play coming out from Falun Coal Miners. And I thought Buffy was going to get to it, and the puck just went through him, I guess, because the icing was called. That was a very close one there.
Off the draw, it is the Coal Miners back in control. The quick out, handled well. Easy to Sniper to take that one away. Gets the puck back. The wall, Canary. Still fighting for it. Contola tried the feed in front. Alexa couldn't get the shot off. Furion steps in. Kick back to the point. Buffy was covering. Takes the hit from Contola. Snake able to keep possession alive. Bounces off of a hit. Bit of help from Supremski. Feed in front doesn't go, and trying to step up here on the counterattacker. Goons, Contola the between the legs. Just couldn't hold on to it. Job here by Lexa, the shot. Save. Ellie Kamel makes another stop. Supremski for Smake. Stuck on the backhand. Chips it low. Prominent Buffy going to work. Goons able to survive. 2 minutes left here in the period. Passes. Contola trying to hold on the board play just to try and get himself a bit of space and time. The point. Lexa for Sisu. Final minute of the period. Sisu. Fans on the shot. Second chance for Lexa. Can't get all of it either. Stromanen on the counter. Has Buffy with them. Has Furion with them. Feedback doesn't go. Puck is cleared out. And that will do it for the second period of play. The tying goal on the power play for the Falun Coal Miners sets up a big time third period.
Yeah, really, really good pushback from the Falun Coal Miners overall in that period. Obviously, the tying goal goes a long way, but they really kind of stepped it up right there. The aggression, both in the offensive and the neutral zone there, really kind of forcing Goons to kind of make some plays before they were maybe necessarily comfortable. And that was kind of opening up some more chances on the side of Falun Coal Miners. They only got the 1 goal, but it is tied up heading in to the third period, which is, not too bad of a place to be. And they've really been able to kind of slow down the Goons attack as well. Goons had a couple solid opportunities in that period, but nothing too crazy to speak of. And so you can see there, yeah, Falun Coal Miners really, really caught up in shots, actually taking the lead there at the end.
One more look. The power play goal. They clipped the bottom of the glove. It did. He got a good piece of it. It's Circula, but not enough. I mean, again, I believe had full pressure at that point on the pressure on the power play.
Yeah. With gold 1-2.
Yes.
So,
yes. I
mean,
perfect. Only so
storm.
much a goalie can do there.
Yeah, the perfect storm.
There we go. Third period underway. 3 points up for grabs. Will one of these teams be able to walk away with all 3 for the regulation win? Good shot there. Kept out, or will it be a 2-1 split? In overtime, the shot, they score! From the point with the traffic in front. Easy just Sniper. Makes it 2-1 for Goons.
Really almost seemingly coming out of nowhere, but it's the screen in front by Contola right there, which really kind of makes that. It's not the hardest shot. It is well placed, but it's the screen that makes it work. You could see from the animation of Ellie Kamel really couldn't track that puck, and it just goes in on that glove side as he's down in the butterfly. Quick response here for Goons, snatching that lead right back. We're 2-1 here early on into the third.
As Sniper entered play today, 14 games, 6 goals. continuing to do incredibly well back there in terms of adding in for the offense. He and Senum and Lexa are actually tied for goals heading into play today. Sisu not able to get a pickup there, but for Goons, hey, the clock is their friend right now. What's a couple of extra seconds to tick away? Goons again back into the attacking zone. No, just mistimed, offside.
Nearly really good timing right there. I kind of like that from Canary, the sort of stutter step right there, and then kind of using that sprint where you're pushing, or the hustle where you're pushing the puck out in front of you. Try to kind of get that over the line as Lexa was skating in with speed. Just didn't click.
A sniper there again to shut down Strandmanen. Alexa, nowhere to go. Back over to Strandmanen. Remsky sends it down the wall. Fought on, but won by Sisu. As Goons try to get going. Sisu down low, passes it all the way back. Again, though, the clock, the enemy of the Falun coal miners. You're ever going to have a moment of passes being off the mark and going all the way back to your own zone? Well, now's probably the most beneficial time. Furion up ahead. Smake with space takes the shot. Good stop. Furion, the one-timer. Puck still alive, rattling around in front. And ultimately covered, but positive there for the Falun coal miners.
Very positive. That last opportunity for Smake, I couldn't even quite tell if that was a pass or a shot, but it definitely hit off a defender's skate and rocketed right into Circula. Fortunately, he's able to keep that one out and keep his team with that 1-goal lead.
Off the face-off. Coal miners back in control. Deflection bid for Smake. That one kept out as well. And Sin, that is, of course, one of the reasons why Big Tipper not active in this season, because there's a very good chance that's a goal if he has even silver.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just really good positioning right there. We've seen them go to that a couple different times. Now they got full pressure again with possession.
As the shot, big save again. Circle, you could tell his goaltender exhausted. Another shot, but a glove save. As the coal miners beginning to throw everything towards goal, and it feels like it's a matter of time.
Yeah, these are very, very smart mechanical players right now. They're really kind of using the mechanics of the game to their advantage. You see them really start to pull the trigger a heck of a lot more when they have that full pressure. Unfortunately, they can't win the face-off. If they can get it in quickly, they do. Oh, it's offside.
It is
So
offside.
close.
It makes me wonder. Now, it was very, very close. It makes me wonder, though, how much time is left before it expires.
Yeah.
Given that there's a face-off just outside of the zone. So this could be close. Lexa and Smake. Smake wins the draw, and indeed, they keep full pressure alive. Buffy to Furion tries to throw it on, deflected away. Strandmanen down low. Furion back to Supremski at the point. One-timer from Furion. Puck loose, covered again. Not for a lack of trying here from the coal miners.
No, really, really good opportunities. Really peppering Circolo with shots right now. Who's a couple times seemed to be in survival mode, just with no stamina there, just kind of scrambling to make these stops and get the puck covers. But he's doing his part. But Goons got to get this puck out.
Face off. Smake the tie up. Shot from Buffy. Good block by Sisu. Pass off the mark. Opens up a counterattacking chance for Goons. Still some tired legs out there, though. They'll finally have a chance to breathe. This one's sent around. Buffy can't get the pickup. Space for Kontala now. Has Canary with him. Back to Kontala. He scores! A beautiful shot as Goons survive the pressure and add to their lead.
And that is a heartbreaking moment on the side of the Falun coal miners playing so well, really trying to get that last goal. And it's just one transition. A play didn't quite work. It was a hard around dump across the boards. Buffy failed to get it. It was an overcommit by, I think it was Supremski. It might have been Furion overcommitting right there, creating a little bit of space for the counterattack. And Kontala and Canary made the most of it. You saw Canary nearly out of stamina there. So he passes back to Kontala, who peels towards the inside on the forehand and just rips that one home. Top shelf again. and the captain gives his team a 3-1 lead.
6:06 remaining. And for the Falun Coal Miners, they have been trying to find their way through and get that second goal. Now all of a sudden you need a third. That's if Goons don't find the back of the net yet again. See, Goons in control here. Face for easy. Sniper has a goal in this game. A tired move, but still gets a good shot on goal.
Yeah, Ali Kamel has been tested quite a bit, but so many of the chances that he's had to face are kind of grade A opportunities, and he's been beaten on a couple just rips from Kontala here.
Off the draw, back in control for Goons. Just over 4 minutes now. Kontala is offside. And for the Coal Miners and for Goons as well. This is a big, big series. Crucial points up for grabs. Furion back to the forehand. Remsky for Buffy. Quick movement. Buffy's shocked he didn't shoot that second chance. And a bit too much time to get a shot towards goal.
Yeah, Buffy, I cannot believe he made that extra pass, and then Stronmanen right there just couldn't adjust to getting that puck on his stick in the way that he did. Couldn't get the shot away, or maybe he was trying to get to that forehand there, but that's a big, big missed opportunity on the side of Falun Coal Miners.
Furion steps in. Took a bit too much time. Defense was able to recover. 2 minutes now. The Coal Miners have pulled off big comebacks already this season. Highlighted one on the wraparound this week. Furion the shot right at the goaltender. Looked like there was an open corner.
Yeah, it definitely was. He just maybe thought he was going to over-adjust back to that side. Tried to go back towards that blocker side, but it just went right into the crest of Cirkula.
Face off. Clean win for Smake. Supremski fakes the shot. One-timer, red-timed. Wraparound bid. Can't get that shot off. Full pressure, though. Shot from Supremski. The rebound still loose. And now up ahead for Canary. Kontala, tired legs. Pulls the trigger on the shot. Good stop by Ali Kamel. Here come the Coal Miners yet again. Not much time to work with. Buffy across. Just missed Smake. Furion again. Looking. Circling the shot. Deflected off a man in front. Now to Canary with a bit more pace. Kontala intercepted by his own man. Took away the one-timer attempt for Canary. 20 seconds to go. Goons trying to hold on to get a big 3 points. As Kontala the move back to the defender, Sisu. And that should just about do it. As Goons might get one more here. No, they'll just elect to kill the time. 3-1. More than enough. 3 points in the bag for Goons in game one.
Yeah, really great competitive game between these two teams, kind of jockeying for playoff positioning. Obviously, Goons already on the right side of it, and with those 3 points, going to put themselves in an even better position. Tough break there for the Falun Coal Miners. I really thought they played well. They had some excellent chances. They worked the mechanics of the game kind of better than anyone we've ever seen over the course of this season, but there's just a couple moments where I think they zigged when they should have zagged. You know, you think back to Buffy not taking that shot, or, you know, Stronmanen not quite reacting to the puck getting on his tape on that, you know, when he was at the side of the net off of the rebound there, and just a few missed opportunities, but credit where it's due. Cirkula was really good throughout this game, made some key saves for his team, and we mentioned that in the pregame. These goaltenders going to have to make a couple key saves, and Cirkula did just that. And not to say Eli Kamel didn't, but, you know, he just got kind of bested by the opposing netminder, and well, as competitive as we thought it would be, I think this game did not disappoint. Really kind of scrappy game between these two. And, you know, on the side of Goons, they do come out on top, get up a huge, huge 3 points for them. And for Falun Coal Miners now, they really got to come up with something in this second game, or else they risk kind of sliding down the standings. Again, they do still have games in hand, but they are letting points fall to the wayside by not capturing any in this matchup.
Again, it wasn't for a lack of trying. 20 shots on goal, but only one found its way through. See if we do, in fact, get a look at any of the goals here yet again. Indeed, we will. It goes back to the first goal from Gondola, just thrown in front, and essentially ends up getting his own pass to bury that. Buffy was able to get the tying goal here, the lone goal of the game for the Coal Miners on this 1T. It's in again, the only goal they were able to get.
Yeah, and it really was a beautiful play on the power play. It's just a couple more close calls too. You think about those deflection chances, especially that last one that had just went off the toe of Circola's pads there. And I really like the game that Falun Coal Miners had. They didn't capitalize, but I liked the way they played. They had more time in attack. They had the more shots. They did just about everything that you want a team to do besides get enough goals. They capitalize on the power play. It's a bit unfortunate for them. They may feel a bit hard pressed, but in this next one, at some point, you just got to execute and you just got to put the puck in the back of the net. So we'll see if game number 2, they're able to do that.
And with that, again, first game of 2 in the books. One last look at the extra goal, the insurance here. As just, again, beating Ellie Kamel. Love side, a near perfect shot. A 3-1 win for Goons. 3 points secured. Big result for them, but we still have one more game to go between these two teams. We'll be right back with that second game. Stay with us.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Coal Miners is going to be able to do in response here.
Well, I was kind of looking forward to James Sabalski making our job.
Coal Miners is going to be able to do in response here.
Entered play today. 14 games
I was
played,
kind of looking forward to James Sabalski making our
chance. Good block from Smake that time. Still with...
Yeah, it looked like he tried to make an extra pass out to the outside. Had a bit of space, opted not to take it, and turns it over.
Oh, man, Kontala shot it. Back over to Kontala, the lone goal scorer in this one so far. A little bit of trouble here. Strawman in for the Falun Coal Miners. Now, Strawman in. It's time. Nice shot. The rebound kept out as well. Good save. Possession with full pressure. A shot wired by Buffy. And another one. They score. 2-1 splits. In overtime, the shot. They score. From the point with the traffic in front.
Artist shot. It is well placed, but it's the screen that makes it work. You could see from the animation of Ellie Kamel.
On up ahead, Smake with space takes the shot. Good stop. Yurion, the one-timer. Face off. Coal Miners back in control. Deflection bid for Smake. Big save again. Circle. You can tell his goaltender exhausted. Another shot, but a glove save. Has lucked it away. Stronman in down low. Furion back to Supremski at the point. One-timer from Furion to pick up. Space for Kontala now. Has Canary with him. Back to Kontala. He scores!
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
And we are back, everybody. Again, a big thank you for sticking with us here at SportsGamer. 3 games down on the broadcast and 1 more to go as we get ready. Second game between GOONS and the Falun Coal Miners. Sin, big win for GOONS in game 1 and a big opportunity for them to have a very big day if they can get this win. I think the Falun Coal Miners are going to have something to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be feeling a bit hard-pressed. They played so well in that first game, but they can only muster that 1 goal. They're really going to have to get their offensive guns going more in this one. They played pretty well defensively. Of course, they did surrender the 3 goals right there, but I really like their overall game. If they can duplicate that, they've got a great chance in this one.
There we go. Action underway. Road whites in this one for the Falun Coal Miners. GOONS picking up that road win in the prior game. Canary. Pass defense was there to take that away. Look out all the way down. And an early icing call.
Yeah, they've thrown a few of those out there, maybe trying to catch the defensive GOONS kind of napping, so to speak, but hasn't quite worked for them yet. But I do like that they keep trying it. They didn't pay for the mistake early on. Furion made a kind of an errant saucer pass that could have resulted in a good opportunity, but good recovery defense from Falun Coal Miners.
Passes here. Supremski for Furion. Buffy at the point. Back to his captain. Continuing to work the perimeter here. Trying to find space. A nice odd angle shot. Big rebound. Furion couldn't get much on the turnaround shot. Anardy on the off wing. The forehand tried to go to the point. Perhaps not, but that is where the puck went. Strawman in control here for the Coal Miners, but not much speed as they elect to set up Supremski's pass intercept. Alexa over the line, sends it down. Sisu at the point. Sniper, Strawman can't strip him of the puck. Alexa's shot blocked down. Coal Miners can get anything going down the other way. Strawman tried the spin, gets sent to the ice. Decent with a bit of pace, tried the one-timer. Defense all over. Second chance in front, just out of the reach of Canary. Throws one on, stopped by Ellie Kamel. Mariana again down the other way. Remsky. Buffy here, not able to feed that through. Canary, GOONS back in. Backing zone here. A backhand. Good amount of power on that from Kontala. What a save.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, that was a heck of a lot of power for a backhand right there. Ellie Kamel is able to get over and make the save. What I've noticed so far in this one, a lot of activation from both sides. Their defensemen join in the rush. and it's creating a whole lot of good looks in odd man situations.
Short side attempt doesn't go. Furion up the wall. Buffy now Smake in control. Quick passes. Walking the tightrope at the point. Goons able to win it back. They have numbers here. Good job by Furion. Just completely stifled Contola.
Yeah, absolutely. He knew he had to make his move before they hit the blue line on that 2-on-1 opportunity. Really pressures the puck carrier, forces the offside, actually knocked the puck loose as well.
Furion's pass over the line. Good pick off yet again for Goons. Falun able to get one right back, trying to get established in the O zone. He's able to say no, may have a stoppage for offside.
Kind of hectic play right now in the neutral zone as Falun Coal Miners opting instead of resetting, trying to go for quick re-entries right there. You're seeing Furion, looks like he's going to be dealing with an injury as well perhaps, but just tried to put that puck over the line. Maybe could try to like a handoff play with one of the forwards right there, but he got drilled for his troubles. We'll have to see if that's going to affect his skating here.
Yeah, get ready to go. Action continues. 6 minutes left here in this opening frame. Buffy nowhere to go. In front, broken up again. These two teams more staunch defense so far. Strawman fires one on, nearly dragged in. Supremski pinching in. Here's Sisu now. Defenders trying to make something happen. Pull it back for Sisu. Shot on. Good stop by Ellie Kamel on the deflection. Another shot and a glove save. They'll play it out as well to keep the pace going. Got the Blackbirds as well for the raid. Of course, we followed their series yesterday on our Tuesday Pro Division coverage that we have every single week. Again, Monday and Wednesday for the Elites. And second tier Pro Division on Tuesdays. Very interesting season in that lower division as the puck is tapped in by Lexa in the final moments of the first period. Goons are on the board.
Exactly what they would have wanted to see, just a simple play, shot from the point, little bit of traffic as well, and it was well saved by Ellie Kamel off his pad and just kind of sitting right there for him. Couldn't get the stick on it to sweep it away. Lexa comes in and just taps that one home. Goons go up 1-0 here in the dying moments of the first period to pick up where they left off from the last game.
Lexa with the fewest amount of goals for the forwards. Entering play, technically, barring, again, a series that they might have played off broadcast. I mean, he entered play today, same amount of goals as his right defenseman. So a big goal for him in front there. Get Goons back on the board, maybe one last chance. Buffy shot blocked into traffic, and Goons will survive. They have a lead at the end of the opening 20.
And the main issue right now for the Falun Coal Miners is their zone entries. They seem to be a little bit disorganized. We're seeing a lot of times when Furion is actually going to be the guy trying to take it in himself. He's actually passed over a couple different passes. A few sequences ago, he had Buffy on that right wing side, could have hit him with speed and actually created an offside opportunity or an offside situation, excuse me. And I think that was actually what led to him kind of taking it over back into the corner and then getting hits and getting that injury as well. As you're seeing, that was actually deflected as well off of the blocker and not the pad. And Mythix was just able to clean that one up. But yeah, Falun Coal Miners got to try to clean up their zone entries just a little bit. And Furion, obviously the captain, veteran type guy. He wants to try to take the game into his own hands, but a few different times I felt like he's maybe trying to do just a little bit too much on some of these zone entries. And we'll have to see if they have a talk and try to clean up their zone entries, because that's really what's kind of hurting them the most right now, is they're lacking, getting in and establishing in the offensive zone. Only 2 shots through that first period, and a lot of it has to do with their failure on the zone entries.
Second period underway as always. The action brought to you by our friends at Kovalan Lakritsi. It was a 3-1 win for Goons in game number 1, and they have the lead. Into the opening 20 minutes. Shot on there, stopped. And we'll see kind of the willingness of the Falun Coal Miners to throw pucks on net as this game continues on.
And that was one of those just one-timers, like really right after Buffy crossed the line. Had some space on that far or the glove side as well. Just
nearly able to throw that puck through the slot. Awkward moment there, but again, kept out.
And not going to go down as a shot right there, but Strongman just took it down low, tried to feed that one through, and actually almost bounced through the pads of Circle and into the back of the net.
Buffy can't get that shot off. Smake tried to send it back across for him. They've had that play a couple of times without being able to get a clean shot on, as we have another save.
Yeah, testing the short side once again, but again, these shots, the turnovers, they're all starting to gain to it. They win this faceoff, they're going to be so close. They may even get the full pressure.
Off the drop, you're on the one-timer, blocked down, Smake's backhand. Goes wide. Furion stripped of the puck by Canery with pace, running at a speed, and poked away before the big flying poke check of Ellie Kamel was a factor. Here's Alexa, wanted the 1T. Gotta shoot that there. As Furion is able to make that read quite easily. He's down on the ice, though. That's going to be, what, second injury for him in this game?
Yep.
As Sisu across, they score! What an extra pass that was from Easy to Sniper to Canery, and Goons double up on their lead.
Both defensemen up in the play right there. Beautiful backhand spinning kind of pass. Not a spinorama pass, but he was just kind of pivoting right there. Got the pass away, and that is a tap-in for Canery right there. Not a whole lot Ellie Kamel could do on that, and just another situation. Furion gets caught deep after taking the hit. He gets injured, so that get up slow, and you see everyone realizing that from Goons. They jump up into the play. Both defensemen, they're the ones who get the assists on that Canery goal.
Well, for a second, I wasn't even sure if he passed it, if he just happened to lose it off a stick contact, but the end result is the same. Goons, as we approach the halfway point of the second period in Game 2, outscoring Falun Coal Miners 5-1 so far tonight. We mentioned a lot of points up for grabs in this one. Mythix losing both of their games to Parasite. Now, if Goons were to be able to hold the Falun Coal Miners to without a single point, Coal Miners will still have 2 games in hand, but this could end up being a tremendous night for Goons. Consul on the doorstep, second chance, he scores! What an individual effort to stick with it, and Goons now lead by 3.
Yeah, that's just a situation where Falun Coal Miners are trying to move up the ice a bit too quickly. They thought for sure they all had possession, but look at that Contala behind every single defenseman right there is able to get 2 shots on. Tremendous save by Ellie Kamel on the first opportunity, but he has no help, and Contala just follows it up once again, gets the goal. 3-0 for Goons. Things are starting to unravel for the Falun Coal Miners.
Just an impressive job here in the second period by Goons to pull away. Talked about it on the wraparound over the first 2 weeks of the season. Both these teams having a bit of a tumultuous calendar year in terms of their status, whether in Elite or the Pro Division. Both finding themselves in Elite this season, and both off to strong starts that had them on a potential playoff pace. For that reason, this would be a gigantic result for Goons. The Coal Miners not done yet. Good shot there, but saved again by Circula, who continues very impressive performance tonight.
Yeah, they're looking to try to open up, for Buffy on those one-timers, and they always seem to kind of be a little bit out of position. They have to take a little bit of extra time to do this, whether that's because Buffy's covering some on the point or maybe he's caught in a different situation trying to give puck support there. It's just, it hasn't quite been there quite yet. They are going to win this face-off.
Trying to drive the net there. Smake able to take a swing at it. Pass up ahead, knocked down. Furion. Or Buffy back to Furion. Couldn't get a lot on that shot. Does force a save yet again out of the goaltender.
Don't know if it would have mattered though. Sirkala has just been phenomenal. His puck tracking is on point, right in position right there to make that stop.
Off the face-off. Again, Supremski pinches in this time, tries to find Buffy. Defense was there. Falun Coal Miners, I mean, hey, certainly a goal before the end of this period would be huge. They're goons and can get a fourth, and you never know. We just mentioned the wraparound, though. We saw the highlight of Goons with a tremendous comeback effort in Week 2 action, so we know what they're capable of. Scramble for the puck in the neutral zone. It will be the Coal Miners in possession. That one paddled away. As Buffy in control, can't get that shot through. Sisu with some space, finds Sniper, trying to sort his way past the defense. Final minutes of the second period. Coming in for Furion. Kremski shot, that one. Dangerous opportunity, full pressure late. That deflects off of Sisu. One more chance, a scramble again in front. The Goons will survive. They carry a 3-0 lead into the third period.
This is such a steep mountain to climb for the Falun Coal Miners. They just haven't shown enough ability to be able to execute, particularly 5-on-5. Their lone goal in this 2-game set right now coming on the man advantage, and it's becoming an issue at this point. They seem to be doing a lot of kind of scramble offense, and I love seeing activation from the points. The only issue that can create is if you put 4 men down low, the other team can collapse and there's not really a whole lot of threats, and that pass back up to the single man at the point becomes all the more dangerous because he doesn't have support here. So a lot of different players on Falun Coal Miners, try to make some plays, make some things happen right now. But I'd like to see maybe a little bit more spacing and a little bit more patience. I know it's tough when you're down, by 3 goals. You feel like you need to score really quickly. And on that last sequence, of course, when the time's winding down, makes sense to send all 5 guys down low into that scramble situation. But the rest of the time, there might be just making it a little too easy on Goons to defend, get into those shooting lanes, get into those passing lanes. I'd like to see them with a little bit more spacing here and just, try to spread themselves out, and by doing so, spread out the defense to get more shots on.
Here we go. It is the third period. Shot by Supremski. Make it 9 shots apiece as Goons look to walk away with 6 points for the 2 regulation wins. Perhaps the Falun Coal Miners can complete another comeback. That one clipped the outside of the post. As Sisu for Kanerty across, they score! With pace on the counterattack, Goons make it 4-0 here in the third period, and it certainly feels like tonight is a big, big night for this club.
Yeah, absolutely. If for anything, it's a huge confidence boost right there. Just, no chance for Ellie Kamel once again. How many times have we said that tonight? That, I think, came from a bit of a missed pass on the other side of the ice. The pass, or the puck was passed, I think, to Smake right there down low from Strandman, and when he had Buffy opening up in the higher zone for the one-timer, I'm not too sure if it was just a little bit of a miss-aim or if he did intend to send it there. Nonetheless, the puck was, kind of came back the other way. It did clip the post right there. It wasn't too bad of a chance, but you got to think if they were able to hit that one-timer, if it goes in the back of the net, that doesn't even happen. That's maybe even a 2-goal swing there.
One sent across, broken up. Down the other way, Buffy for Strominen, tried to go back to Buffy. At this point, I can't even necessarily blame the Coal Miners for trying to make those plays that involve an extra pass, because you've been almost, completely brick-walled down the other way. It's going to feel like, okay, we have to do something special, but Whether or not that's the right call is the other question, but here's Kontala yet again. In space, tried to pick the corner. Good stop by Ellie Kamel. One-timer over, D to D. Not even, actually. Technically, it was Kane recovering at the point. And here is Sniper stepping in. Kontala shovels one wide. Ellie Kamel plays it out. 4-0 lead for Goons. It was a 3-1 victory in game 1. They've looked even more impressive in this one. Kontala makes the move, had the short side. Ellie Kamel did commit to the pass, but the defender bails him out. Sniper steps in. He scores! What a goal! Tremendous individual skill, Sin, and Goons are running away with it.
That was absolutely unreal. The first thing, perfect read. The second thing, the between the legs deke. I don't even know where he fit that. It looked like Ellie Kamel was in brilliant position. We'll get another better look at it right there. Oh my goodness, that is a thing of beauty from Sniper right there. And it's 5-0 Goons.
Just his second elite season, by the way. Was a rookie this past spring. And Sin, if I'm not mistaken, because sometimes players mess around with age and location on their website profiles, as we have a good save there. I do want confirmation whether or not Luka is 16 years old.
Oh. Well, if he is, we could be seeing yet another emergence of star talent here in the ECL Elite. That was unreal, that play.
If that's true, he and Sisu have to be the youngest defense pairing in Elite, right? They have to be.
Because Sisu, I think, last season or the season before was paired with King of Apes and Nordic Stars.
Yeah, so that one goes across. 8 minutes to go. An impressive night for Goons. So we mentioned both of these teams on the bubble, fighting for a playoff spot. We also mentioned Goons, if they could pull off all 6 points, would have that chance to not only get some separation on the coal miners, they're still on the attack, but also the separation from Mythix, and to be able to likely catch Vesapampa, Exen. And if they win here, I mean, Sin, they're right in the mix now with the likes of Polsky boys and the Blackjacks battling for 5th heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an impressive showing. Oh my goodness, is that one trickled? It looks like it hit off the post. Ellie Kamel swimming in the crease.
And that one blocked in front. Goons just pouring it on. Here's Smake. Can't get that one through. Again, Smake had a very hot start in week 1. The coal miners did in general. Week 2 cooled off a little bit, and now here in week 3, certainly not getting a result, at least in this matchup, that they were hoping to see. Turnover here, though. 2-on-1. Strodmanen had it poked away early.
Oh, there we go.
They do score here, though. A good recovery for the Falun coal miners. There will be no shutout as Strodmanen finds the back of the net with 1 minute to go.
Definitely needed that. Get a little bit of confidence, at least a little bit of a moral victory to not get shut out right there. But yeah, it was just a little bit of a rushed pass on that first opportunity. Buffy didn't have time to get squared up into that one-timer position, so he had to kind of go back. But like you said, great recovery play. They battle for the puck down low. They get it across, and Strodmanen does bury it. So unfortunately for Sirkala, he will still remain without a shutout on this season, but he was fantastic in this matchup.
Again, 1 minute to go. Chance in front, they score! Goons get it right back. It's a hat trick for Lexa. And you know what? They lose the shutout, but hey, they'll certainly take that result.
Yeah, I absolutely would if I was them, but oh man, just every single way that they could find, they're finding ways to score right here, and just it's tough for Falun Coal Miners. Obviously, I feel like they didn't defend poorly, especially in that first game. This one, it kind of all fell apart. They were in an early hole. They started really pressing for offense, and the Goons just made them pay again and again and again.
And a huge night for Goons. They might not be done. They're not. Make it 4 goals for Lexa here in game number 2. He entered play today with just 6 on the season. That's certainly one way to boost up a goal-scoring record.
You can see the L1 right there, just a split second late from Furion. You got to wonder, like, if he would have stayed up, could he got the intercepts right there? He did get the turn, but then you see he went into that animation, let the puck kind of go across to Lexa, but those are so unpredictable. I definitely don't blame him trying to go down into that the L1 right there. But wow, Goons just, they're like, all right, you score 1 on us, we're gonna get 2 right back on you, and they've quickly turned this game into a blowout.
7-1. Nearly 8 off the deflection as Goons show up at a very important time in the season. Gonna have the Falun Coal Miners left with more questions than answers. They will be looking to go to the power play here as Stromanen avoids a hit, but possession gained, and we'll see if indeed the Falun Coal Miners get another power play goal here, as we always talk about, Sin, just to try and find some building blocks.
Yeah. And they have had a good, power play throughout the initial course of the season, and they have capitalized once on the man advantage. They don't have a whole lot of time, but it's definitely enough to get something set up.
We'll even see a timeout here from the looks of it. Some people might say, what's the point? But we always talk about goal differential and the effect that can play in the standings. So,
and this is,
hey,
yeah,
play until the whistle, play until the final buzzer.
Yeah, huge night for Goons as well in terms of goal differential. I know, winning 3-1, now up 7-1. We talked about it. They had a negative goal differential heading into today. This is going to go such a long way for them.
Just a few moments left in this contest. 21 seconds. Coal Miners get another one back. Buffy can't get the pickup. It's going to be a shorthanded attempt here. Kontala scores! Hey, what? 3-on-1 shorthanded? And another goal for Kontala.
That's just insult to injury at that point. Yeah, like essentially a 3-on-1, and Kontala just takes it himself. And I mean, he's been so good on the puck in this matchup. Maybe he doesn't have the amount of goals that Alexa does or anything like that, but it's his patience with the puck. He's just, oh man, I'm trying to find the right word. Just so deliberate in kind of what he's gonna do, but still is able to kind of fool defenders. It's because it almost seems like he just slows the game down a little bit, and he just makes the moves at the right time. It looks like it should be easy to defend, but I can guarantee you it is absolutely not.
I'll take a guess. Ooh, a nice goal there on the hesitation move. Dare I say methodical, as Falun Coal Miners indeed get one back after surrendering the shorthanded goal. So the amount of goals we've had in the last 3 minutes of this period has been ridiculous.
Yeah, what was it, like 4-1? I don't even know, but it's insane. Just insane the amount of goals we've seen here in the last couple minutes. Yeah, we just got word. 5 goals in 4 minutes real time. I mean, that's disgusting.
The 5-hole goal for Furion. Had only 1 goal on the season entering play today, so be happy to get that one. Well, at least a consolation prize. A massive victory for Goons, pulling off the regular season double in regulation to get 6 points off of the Falun Coal Miners.
I mean, it was perfect in so many ways for Goons. Not only do they get that 6 out of 6 points, but they score big, and they defend quite well. They only surrender 3, and yet they score 11. That's going to go a long way at trying to right the ship when it comes to that goal differential, because that could be important down the stretch. We saw how close, there's 3 teams at 22 points. And if I'm not mistaken, I think GOONS leapfrogged every single one of them. They were sitting at 19. They picked up 6, so that's huge for them. And again, goal differential could come into play at the end of the season. Obviously, the 3-point system makes it harder for there to be ties, but there are still ties, as we saw from the standings earlier. I hope we're going to be able to get an updated look at that just to see where they sit and see how they're doing in comparison to goal differential, because this matchup right here for GOONS, this feels like it could be like the pivotal turning point in their season where they kind of righted the ship and were able to kind of cement themselves as that playoff contender.
8-2, your final score. I think we can throw it back to us sooner rather than later, instead of going through 10 goals worth of replays. We'll see if they start with the last goal, the first goal, where they want to go. But I mean, look at the timing on that. 5 goals between 1 minute left and 2 seconds. I don't know if we've ever seen that, Sid, and we've covered a lot of games during our time here with SportsGamer.
No, and that's actually crazy. I mean, the one that gets me the most is like one at 51 seconds, the next at 47 seconds.
Yeah, that's about as fast as you could possibly score here in the Elite Division, or any division, I'd say.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna go through all the replays. I think they're just appreciating the spread on all those different goals right there. Ridiculous.
So with that, again, a big night for GOONS as they get the full 6 points over the Falun coal miners, and it certainly makes the playoff situation certainly interesting as we head into our 4th week of action. Again, we will be back on Monday for more Elite Division coverage. 2 big matchups. Polski boys taking on Mustakalta, who, by the way, are fresh off of a double of their own. 6 points tonight against Voitamaton. So Mustakalta very much in the mix for a top seed. Polski boys are currently there. And then 2 other playoff teams currently, the Blackjacks and the previously mentioned Voitamaton, very much in the mix for that one. So, Sin, obviously not looking like you'll be there for the Monday, but hey, you're going to miss out on a heck of a broadcast for that one with those matchups.
Yeah, absolutely will. And I don't know if that last matchup has been reported onto the website yet, but I would like to get another look at the standings here just to kind of see we can do some quick maths as well of our own, just to see GOONS. Yeah, so we are waiting for that final one, I believe, but they should be sitting at, oh, okay, I guess they had 20 points. Yeah, they should be sitting at 26, so firmly planted in that 5 seed. That's absolutely massive for them. Blackjacks, Polski boys still sitting, at 22 points. They will both have 2 games in hand, but both have tough matchups coming up. Oh man, yeah, I'm disappointed I'm missing that Monday broadcast.
Again, a night where Parasite continue an undefeated run at 14-0. A night where GOONS take a big step forward. Been a great week of ECL action, but again, that will do it for us this week. We'll be back on Monday for the wraparound and more ECL Elite Division action. Thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Nice low shot there. Couldn't get the rebound, though. Promising look for Koloslav. Chance here, the net try. First goal of the season. He finally finds the back of the net on a great individual effort.
Pass down low was covered. The pass in the slot was covered. He had a little bit of space. Just kind of waltzes through, pulls it to the forehand, quickly rips a shot on.
When he scores. Bill opens up a second chance. They win it back one more time. Tamu's shot blocked. Stopped by Rico. Trying to 2 seconds. Tamu, another chance off a loose puck. Head-to-head. Wrap up our coverage of Week 3 action here. The ECL Elite Division. Those teams now approaching it. Not forward. Dangles tries to go in front. Mythix makes another good play. Numbers here. And a shot. Tamu able to recover the puck. Has options, finds Vatu. Good stop by Rico. That quick out again to Vatu. Has some space. Throws it on. Good save. His feet the other way. Exhausted though. And it does not matter. Quick set of passes. Vatu has another one. Feed sends across, and they do find the back of the net. A little bit of help, but they'll take what they can get. Ace, Nicky Dangles for Tamu. Big save, may have clipped the post side. Tamu, Vatu, should I say? I thought he was going to go to Tamu at the point. No, of course he's going to go to Vatu because he cannot stop scoring. The other way now for Mythix, though. Little space here, steps in, short side, good stop by Pincere. Leave that left side open, Vatu with space, sends it across, they score!
Actually just stopped right in the slot. The defenseman kind of overskate a little bit. That opens up the passing lane. Nicky Dangles making no mistake.
A little bit of trouble down low. Find the kick. The one-timer, they score!
Great puck support coming out from Parasite. Down low, they just want every loose puck, and they continue to earn them right there. Their positioning is great.
Just so little space, and if they do find space, it disappears quickly. Vatu short side shot. That one stopped. Short side shot. That one stopped. Full pressure for Parasite. One-timer saved by Rico. Parasite. Vatu for Nicky Dangles. Good block. Benito back in front. As time expires, space to be found. Nicky Dangles. Low shot on and stops off the mark. Already halfway through the second period. Good job by Bobby to get that puck. And again, the pass in front's just not there. And a penalty is going to be called.
Okay, right there. And just kind of decided to dump it in softly instead.
Seconds of the power play. Successful kill, the one-timer. And a poked away by Vatu. That's all it took. One mistake of holding on to it for too long. Score makes it 30 in just 13 games. Parasite. Benito backhand scores.
Through excellent bit of hesitation and then the pass at the right moment here. And Benito didn't even quite get as far to the backhand as he wanted to get around the pad, but he just...
Heads up. Keep playing a strong game. Nice shot there. You never know just how important the next goal could be. Good individual there. Wanted the stick lift. Didn't even need it. Legs moving, a backhand on. Stop. Pass from Tamu sets up Benito. In front, they score. Vatu has his second of the game and his 31st of the season. Those pass picked off. Olaslav shot. As it is a 2-on-0 breakaway here. Nicky Dangle's going to be allowed to take it, and he scores.
6-0 here. This third period winds to a close. Wait a sec.
Bobby the effort, Fins.
Falun Coal Miners is going to be able to do in response here.
Well, you know, I was kind of looking forward to James Cebulski making our job from Kontala. Entered play today, 14 games played, 12 goals. Now make it at least 13. And once again, another chance. Good block from Smake that time. Still with...
It looked like he tried to make an extra pass out to the outside. Had a bit of space, opted not to take it, and turns it over.
Movement, Kontala shot it back over to Kontala, the lone goal scorer in this one so far. A little bit of trouble here. Strawman in for the Falun Coal Miners. Strawman in. Takes his time. Nice shot. The rebound kept out as well. Good saves. Possession with full pressure. A shot wired by Buffy. And another one, they score! The 2-1 splits. In overtime, the shot, they score! From the point with the traffic in front.
Artist shot, it is well placed, but it's the screen that makes it work. You could see from the animation of Ellie Kamel.
On up ahead, Smake with space takes the shot. Good stop. On the one-timer. Face off. Coal Miners back in control. Deflection bid for Smake. Big save again. Circle. You can tell his goaltender exhausted. Another shot, but a glove save. Is deflected away. Stronman in down low. Furion back to Supremski at the point. One-timer from Furion. Get the pickup. Space for Contola now. Has Canery with him. Back to Contola. He scores!
One transition, a play didn't quite work. It was a hard around dump across the boards. Buffy failed to get it. It was an overcommit by, I think it was Supremski. It might have been Furion.
Say Goons in control here. Face for easy. Sniper has a goal for Buffy. Quick movement. Buffy's shocked he didn't shoot that second chance. And a bit too much time to get a shot towards goal. Coal Miners have pulled off big comebacks already this season. Highlighted one on the wraparound this week. Fury on the shot right at the goaltender. Canery, Goons back in. Backing zone here. A backhand. Goons able to win it back. They have numbers here. Good job by Furion. Just completely stifled Contola.
Yeah, absolutely.
Front broken up again. These two teams. Staunch defense so far. Strawman fires one on nearly. Back for Sisu. Shot on. Good stop by Ellie Kamel on the. Back for Sisu. Shot on. Good stop by Ellie Kamel on the deflection. Another shot and a glove saves. Very interesting season in that lower division as the puck is tapped in. 3-1 win for Goons in game number 1. And they have the lead into the opening 20 minutes. Throw that puck through the slot. Awkward moment there, but again, kept out. Sisu across. They score! This could end up being a tremendous night. Goons, Contola on the doorstep. Second chance, he scored! This would be a gigantic result for Goons. The Coal Miners not done yet. Good shot there. Pass up ahead, knocked down. Furion. Or Buffy back to Fury. Dangerous opportunity. Full pressure late. That deflects off of Sisu. One more chance. A scramble. Here we go. It is the third period. Shot by Sisu for Canery. Across. They score. Sniper steps in. He scores! What? Goons are running away with it.
That was absolutely unreal. The first thing, perfect read. The second thing, the between the legs deep. I don't even know.
Goons, if they could pull off all 6 points, would have that chance. Not only get some separation, boys, and the Blackjacks battling for 5th heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an impressive showing. Oh my goodness.
Out the way.
Oh, there we go.
They do score here, though. A good recovery. Chance in front. They score. Goons get it right back. And a huge night for Goons. They might not be done. They're not. Make it 4 goals. 7-1. Nearly 8 off the deflection. Short-handed attempt here. Contola scores!
It is absolutely not.
Take a guess. Ooh, a nice goal there.